We are live.
We are live, ripping. Hey, how, hoity ho, and hippity hoppity. Oh, little Venmo, baby. In fact, I'll talk about that in just 1 second. How you doing? Look out, it's only me. It's only the Kimmer Show podcast in full swing. And as we speak, it's Monday, the 6th of March already. Podcast number 535. And it's good to have you. It's beautiful weather, although the pollen is outrageous, setting records. Pussy. And if you hear us sneezing and horking around here, that's the reason why. But it's, it's coming towards spring, warm weather in Georgia, and that's what happens. Anyway, great to have you aboard. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Pete Davis here, sidekick producer and sports raconteur extraordinaire. And the mechanical mangler at the controls, Flounder, here at El Condo Floundo. And, yes.
We got a blank screen.
What happened?
Lucas unplugged something. So.
Oh, Lucas, he did. I just put the video of him up here on the desk. I'll be darned.
Fixing it right
There we are.
Are we okay?
There we are.
Okay. Sorry, folks. So we're live. Are we on Rumble and YouTube? Is that the deal?
We are good to go.
Excellent. By the way, I'm sorry?
Sorry about that.
Okay. And for the record, I don't know how to get comments or reply to comments on either Rumble or YouTube for some reason on my phone. I can't log into. I don't know whether people are commenting and I'm not commenting back, and if I'm not, it's because I don't know I don't see I don't know what's happening. But anyway, so thank you if you're commenting and having fun watching videos.
Did you already say something about your tire?
What's that?
Did you already say something on social media about your tire?
Yeah.
Okay, so Blaine's already talking about
it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's coming up. Yeah, Alpharetta, look out where you drive fest once again. Orange Cone Week here in the Alpharetta Fest. Anyway, so we'll talk about that here in a moment. See, luckily you guys never look at any of the Facebook posts, so you have no idea what I've been up to during the week or during the day, which is good because that way it's a total surprise. Media? No, not really, not me. So in fact, I was at the bar yesterday, and yesterday, and by the way, Rumble says the Kimmer Show podcast started streaming, so that's a good sign. So at the barn yesterday, and Debbie, who owns Herbie and just got a brand new horse, and also rides Stretch. She's the one who rides Stretchy. Stretchy won't let men ride him, hates men, because he sure likes treats from me. But anyway, and she brought her little friend over yesterday. It was a cute little business partner. Yesterday at the stable, and she said, asked me about myself, and are you on the radio? And she said, well, what's your Instagram account? And I said, I don't really have it. I don't know about that stuff. So anyway, whatever. But we do have Venmo. And two things. Our friend Denise, once again, Denise, thank you so much. She said, happy Oreo Cookie Day. It's also Fun Facts About Names Day, National Dentist Day, and World Tennis Day.
It's also National Pancake Day.
A.K.A.
Flapjack Day.
Yeah, pancake.
Tonight,
you going to do pancakes?
I'm going to make... can I make waffles and pretend it's pancakes? Or have to have pancakes?
It's National Pancake Day.
Well, then I'll make pancakes. In fact, I'll try to make it, and I'll try to remember, and
crispy bacon?
Oh, well, there you go. I love crispy bacon. Black, dark, crispy. Anyway, and by the way, so Venmo, anyway, if you can help us out on Venmo, or go to thekimmershow.net, and that links you everything.
Everything Kimmer is at there, yep.
Our radio station, 106.3 Extra, and the stuff we do and everything else. So we really are very, very grateful for that. So for some reason, my phone is now saying I have visual voicemail, and I tried to get... Where did this come? I don't understand. All of a sudden, I try to look up who's been texting me, and it says, boing, your visual voicemail is not working. And I don't even know what that is.
Let me Google it.
I've never heard of it. And Flounders, have you ever heard of it? No. Flounder's never seen it. So how all of a sudden does my phone start doing something no one's ever heard of? I'm sorry. Well, I can't, and by the way, I'm call-in on Friday morning at 106.3. I call in on Friday mornings around 7:25. And the Wi-Fi internet thing wasn't working on the laptop that Flounder had to come to my house and set up, and suddenly it stopped working. Your internet connection's not working. It cut me off, and Flounder tried to do it over the phone. It wouldn't work, so now he's got to come back. And again, I didn't do anything. I just sat there, and the damn thing just died. So now he's got to come back to my house and reboot it.
Sometimes you just have to reset your internet on your computer.
Sometimes just unplug it and then plug it
No,
back
I
in.
did that. I did that twice. I did everything you're supposed to do.
Did you hit it?
I didn't hit it. I should have hit it. See, now there you are. You know this stuff. Hit the damn thing. Well, there you are.
Like
I would have hit it in the wrong place. Anyway, and by the way, If you ever see me riding in the back of a police car, I'll bet this kind of thing has something to do
I would
with
pay
it.
good money.
I started shooting up my computer or something, and the neighbors. We knew it.
I would pay good money to see that.
And if I am in the back of a police car with my hands cuffed behind my back, the whole way I'm going to say, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?" Bam. Anyway, Lordy. Okay. So thank you for Venmo. We also still have the Kimmer Show. What do you call it? Mailbox. Post office box. There you go. Kimmer Media. Post office box 1432 1432, Alpharetta, Georgia 30009. And I got a nice letter here from Robert, and he says, "Love the show. Have for years. Listening to some of your previous podcasts, you guys were talking about how much has been taken out of public schools. But he said there's one local district, he didn't want to say who it is out loud, Cobb, wanted to tell you that all hope is not lost. Every morning before school starts, the kids stand, place their hands over their hearts, and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. After that, the school plays one of several patriotic songs which the kids sing along to. Then they have a moment of reflection so the students can either pray or reflect or whatever. Most of the students do this and enjoy singing along." Oh, kid, he's on your chair.
You got a new co-host.
Hey, Cat. Hey, Cat. Pete's trying to sit down in your chair. If you don't mind. He says, "Well, nobody was up here." There he goes. He's going to go play with Flounder. Okie dokie. It's all back.
All right, finish your story.
Anyway, so Edward said, he said, "They say the Pledge of Allegiance, play a patriotic song. Most of the students do this and enjoy singing along. There are some students who do not participate due to religious or other reasons. So like I mentioned, maybe all hope is not lost. Sending some cheeseburger money, which I wish could do more, but these spendocrats are killing me. Thanks for the laughs and info. By the way," he says, "P.S. Can we add meatloaf and turkey recipes to the bingo card?" I don't know if there's room. Yeah, anyway, that's from Robert. And one more quickie. And I won't read all of it because it's a very, very long letter. But Paul from Athens went to a lot of trouble here talking about Black History Month and examining the real history of the United States and how we're not as bad as everybody thinks, how black tribes were selling black men and women in order black tribes and stuff from Portugal in the 1500s. 300,000 Civil War people in slavery. But he makes a point, if reparations are paid to the victims of slavery, how about something for the people who helped free them? The relatives of the soldiers who gave their lives in defense of making America a better place.
My father's family lost at least two great uncles, a year apart, and two battles southeast of Nashville.
Yeah.
They're buried in unmarked graves.
Yeah. Well, again, I don't want to talk about reparations today, but anyway, he says, a very nice letter, Paul from Athens. Thank you, and a very nice.
So we
donation.
paid. My family's paid.
Yeah, we paid our debt. And by the way, I've never owned slaves, so give me a break, all right? How about that? Or anybody in my family for generations. So thank you. Anyway, whatever. I don't want to talk about that crap. I didn't mean to get all ooey there for a second. Two things. First of all, it was Payday here from the Kimmer Media, and I gave Flounder his check. And I put, we got from our friends at Dickey Broadcasting, last month actually, the month of February's. Lori just sent us a very nice donation and said, "Crazy ass people." I don't know what that means. I guess we're the crazy ass people. Thank you, Lori. Anyway, Pete and Flounder, the amount this past month from our friends at the Dickey Broadcasting Company was $199.29. That comes out to $66.43.
Round mine
but
up.
I'm rounding up, baby. Check this out, mister.
I don't want
20,
66
40,
either.
60, 70, mister.
That's too
that's
much.
$3. No, $3.51 or 51 cents or whatever. He got the same thing. He got
okay.
72. I'll take the hit. I'll take the $8 hit.
Here, have it.
No.
Now I'm going to feel bad for like
No.
10 minutes.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Let's see. Oh, okay. A couple things before we. Let's talk about the show. You're going to hear. Did you get both those sound bites, Flounder? Okay. You're going to hear some of the Chris Rock stuff. And also the Saturday Night Live, which I didn't see, but I saw it on social media, which is kind of funny picking on Fox. Apparently,
We may have a problem with Fox Audio because Twitter is down.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, if
And-
we can't play it,
yeah.
I've got the story. I can tell you the story if we don't get the sound. But
I'll see if I can find it elsewhere, though.
Apparently, Fox. They're talking a lot about. You're hearing about Fox Television being in serious trouble with lawsuits. Trying to claim that Tucker and all those other people knew that the things were a lie, but propagated it anyway. Dominion Voting said there's all kinds of billion-dollar lawsuits going on about Fox Television, and they
The swamp is fighting back.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
They've rigged the system.
We're
and
not.
They're
Yep,
going to use it.
We are not done. Anyway, we'll talk. We'll talk about that too. Let's see. Oh, Kimmer Show Bingo. Who had slow leak in one of my tires? This is unfreaking believable. This is what, like maybe number 8 of a slow leak in a tire. And so I thank God I have a pump I keep that goes into my cigarette lighter. They don't have those anymore. Whatever you call the auxiliary plug or something, whatever you call it. No, you do because you got that Porsche. And so, because all my Porsche people smoke like crazy. It's
Germans.
unbelievable. That's what they say.
German.
So it is. So sure enough, so I go to Pep Boys. And they say, oh, it's on the. There's like a bunch of steel, spikes or something, and we can't plug them because it's on the side or whatever. So now I'm going to the tire store where I bought them in the first place after the podcast today. So that'll be the rest of. I mean, it's unbelievable. And I blame Gesundheit, my friend. I don't even want to tell you how much these freaking things cost. These Michelin Pilot Sport something or other. It's unbelievable.
I know, but they're great tires. But
You can't drive an Alpharetta. I mean, everywhere you go, have you seen the roads in the main street all the way? I mean, it's unbelievable.
I don't drive through there.
You can't. I'm really this has got to be number 8 of my tire, and sometimes I get it plugged, which is $20 or whatever. But if it's a new tire, it's outrageous. I can't even say because then you'll say, well, you want the car, whatever. Anyway, by the way, a funny story.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Am I too
You're
excited?
like ADHD boy today.
Really? Am I
Just chill.
I'll try to chill.
Actually, just a split-second pause between stories would be nice.
All right.
Because it's like
All right. Now, see, this is the kind of thing.
stream of consciousness.
This is
here.
the kind of feedback that I think we all need to work together to have me stop being an asshole. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm
Or-
just saying.
No, you wouldn't say that.
I
no.
got whiplash from
No,
these
I'm
changes.
an asshole, but I'm still okay. I'm doing the show, so that's all right. All right, here we go. I had a very unusual experience.
You did?
I did. Sunday, I said, well, I've had my slow leak for several days. And I said, well, this is stupid. So I called, excuse me, my tire store where I bought them is not open on Sundays. So I called Pep Boys, which is right down the street from me, really. And I've been there. They plugged probably 6 or 8 of them. Mm-hmm. So I go into Pep Boys. There's a new guy. Every time I go, there's a new guy behind the things. And it was a black gentleman with very long cornrows and like a black skull hat thing, or what they call beanie thing, and long cornrows. And when I came in and introduced myself, and I mentioned I've been there before, and he kind of looks up. He was very quiet, sullen, barely said hi or what can I do for you? I mean, just really kind of wasn't interested at all. Just probably didn't want to be there on a Sunday, at 1:00 in the hour or noon or whatever. Anyway, so he was okay, but it just was totally like I wasn't even alive. And he said, so he was going to bring the car in, check the tire. I'm sitting in the back. And I come out toward the front, kind of wait while I'm waiting, and I hear him listening to the radio, and it's the Chris Rock special. The thing he just did the other day, and you're gonna hear some of that, by the way, coming up. Anyway, so I hear Chris Rock, and so I said to him, is that Chris Rock, man? I love him. He's great. And the guy exploded. He says, oh yeah, man. And he just all of a sudden, like we're best friends. I mean, it's the damnedest thing. And it really is. I can't help but really think that there was a teeny cultural kind of a hold your own place, don't get too friendly with people divide when I first walked in there, white guy, black guy, I don't know. But boy, as soon as I said, I love Chris Rock almost as much as Dave Chappelle kind of thing, he just boom, and we became instantly bonded. Talked about his bits. I mean, it was unbelievable. And I don't know whether I should make a thing out of this, and maybe he was just reserved for everybody until some link. I don't know. I just thought, maybe he's. I don't know. I'm not trying to make a racial thing out, but we had a great few minutes talking together. It was really fun, and I thought it was unusual enough that I'm mentioning it on the podcast.
Did you get his number?
I did not get his number, or even his name. But I did. And speaking of last thing on my car, I did need one of those emission tests again this year.
Yes.
So I went to the place, a little Shell station right down the street from my place, and I got no problem. And the guy, a guy's named Robert, and he was a Marine and stationed at Cherry Point enlisted in 1989, a Marine officer and stuff. So it's small world.
Those guys are almost always friendly as hell.
Listen to
those
the
guys
podcast.
doing
Great
those
guy.
things.
And there's a car wash there, and it was mobbed because
How much
it was
was
beautiful
it?
weather. $25.
Mine was 26. It's around there.
Well, actually, the emission test was 25. The for me to mail in the certificate to get my tag number was 25 plus $1 extra to mail it. They charge you an extra $1 if you mail it. So anyway,
By the way, Eric says, this Kimmer Constructive Criticism Minute brought to you by FarmhousePrintingCo.com.
There you are.
That's right. Located right here in Sonoya, Georgia. Eric and the gang, they print the custom shirts and the hats and the signs, the promo items, and no minimum order, no setup fees. What does that mean? That means you can order one or 1,000. Go for the 1,000. They got laser engraving for the tough stuff, for the
You've
livestock.
seen podcast blanket, my golf towel. I mean, it said Jennifer's T-shirts with horse pictures on them. Clear. I mean, just beautiful quality.
It's absolutely amazing.
Can't say enough.
FarmhousePrintingCo.com. Local guys right here in Sonoya, Georgia.
They have
Check
their
them
own
out.
doggy. They have their own podcast doggy, a beautiful golden
do?
retriever. Done. It's just a wonderful, wonderful place. Anyway, all right, coming up, we have more personal stuff here, but coming up, we will have a couple of passings. Let's mention a couple of passings. Although I have to admit to you, I did not know this name. You will, and I did not. Gary Rossington.
Oh, yeah.
71 years old, had heart problems. They didn't say exactly what happened. He was the last surviving member of Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Amazing.
October 77, he survived the plane crash. About a dozen others survived the plane crash, ran out of fuel, and slammed into the ground. It killed the famous members
How
of the
can
band.
it run out of fuel?
I
Who
don't
does that?
understand. How could you not always have it full? When if you land your plane and say, I'll be back in 2 days to get it, fill it up. How could you ever get in an airplane to drive off and not have a full tank?
James,
I mean, really.
James Gregory, the comedian, talks about that in the Caribbean.
I want a place to
He gets these little puddle jumpers, and the stewardess walks down and goes, "How much do you weigh?" And he goes,
He
"Wait a
talks
minute.
like this,
What?
real gay talking, you know."
Why do you want to know how much you weigh? Well, sir, we got to know how much weight we'll carry, so I know how much gas to put in the car. He says, "Hey, here's my visa. Fill her up."
He says, I don't know what to make the planes out of. He said, how come they always find a black box? He said, I want to make the planes out of what they make the black box out of, so you can bounce it off a cornfield.
He said, "I don't want to run out of gas because some fat bitch in the back don't want to say how much she weighs.
Lied about 60 pounds.
Fill her out." Not to make light of Gary Rossington.
No, I'm going to say we're now laughing about the plane crash, but Rossington was 71 years old. Again, they think he had heart issues.
Slide guitar, baby.
He was the last surviving member of Lynyrd Skynyrd, and when he was in the crash, he broke both his legs, both his arms, both his ankles, his pelvis, and God knows, I mean, he was a...
And didn't some of
Pieces.
them have to crawl out through the woods? It was in Mississippi or Louisiana.
Yeah.
Had to crawl out of the woods and go up to a house and say, "Oh my God, call the ambulance."
Unbelievable. I mean, it was just horrible, horrible thing. Gary Rossington, 71.
What they would have done, they probably would have replaced the almonds at some point.
Well,
they
it would have
replaced
been
them.
1 and 2, or 2 and 1.
The Southern Anthem was Ramblin' Man before Freebird came
Yeah,
along.
yeah.
So they replaced him with the Southern Anthem. And if they had been around as long as Almonds, maybe they would have replaced him. I still think the Almonds are the #1 Southern band, but Skynyrd's right there.
Yeah, I don't know how you would differentiate popularity between the two. And again, a little Kimmer story. Wade, no offense, and he had a party boat, and I had a little speedboat cruiser thing, and we shared a slip together at Lake Allatoona, and also Lanier later, but it was Allatoona, where our next door slip neighbor was one of the drummers of Lynyrd Skynyrd, little guy, kind of a little country boy, and very friendly, very nice guy. He was with Lynyrd Skynyrd. This is back in the early 90s when this happened. We had our boats, and they kicked him out of the slip because he used to just throw his garbage overboard. Anyway, but he was a nice man, looked real country, and I can't remember his name, but nice guy, and he was one of the drummers for Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Cindy says that Gary lived in Alpharetta.
Really?
Yeah, he lived in Alpharetta. And there was something else I was going to say.
Well, how come nobody? Oh, that's kind of amazing, isn't it? Wouldn't you think that a guy that well
Why
known.
not? They were basically, after they moved here, they were from here, basically.
Yeah,
They
but
stayed
I'm just
here.
amazed at it.
Play it pretty for Atlanta, as they said in the Fox.
Well, there's not a lot of news coverage about it. I wonder why.
All right, Kimmer, I got some drummer names for you. Would it be Bob Burns, Michael Cartellione, Kurt Custer, Owen Hale, or Kenny Orinoff?
It might have been Bob.
Wayne would remember.
If they had his face, I remember. It's kind of a little fella, kind of country. I think he might have had a little goatee thing going. I can't remember.
One of our listeners, Preston Holcomb, from the Grapes and several other bands.
Hear him all the
He's
time.
with Blackberry Smoke now, and they're overdoing Europe. And
no
he's
kidding.
posting this stuff from Madrid and Zurich and everything. He is having the time of his
Oh
life.
my God! Yeah, he pops up on Facebook
Preston's
or
great.
social media all the time.
Okay, now he's touring Europe. Isn't that amazing? With Blackberry
That's
Smoke.
really cool.
And they're selling out, too, all over Europe. It's absolutely amazing.
That's
Southern,
great
people
to
like
hear.
Southern thing.
Yeah.
One more thing about Lynyrd Skynyrd, and I've told this before. When me and my brother, 2013, were in Liverpool taking the Beatles tour.
Yeah.
We stopped the bus, and of course the bus driver asked us where we're all from. And most people were from, there were some Germans, and there was some from Minnesota, and there were some more British people. And we pop in front of one of Paul McCartney's childhood homes. And we're sitting there looking at it, and people talking about the Beatles. And this English guy comes up to me and goes, "You're from Atlanta?" And it's like, "Yeah." He goes, "Man, my favorite album is Live at the Fox Theater, Lynyrd Skynyrd." And he's
No
going on
kidding.
and on about. I go, "Yeah, I've been to the Fox. I've seen Skynyrd and everything." And all he wanted to talk about was Lynyrd Skynyrd, not Paul McCartney or the Beatles.
Tiny world.
It is.
I mean, who'd have thought on a bus in Liverpool?
Liverpool.
Oh, mercy. Also, another passing, Tom Sizemore, the actor. Yeah. He was in Saving Private Ryan, a whole bunch of. He had some drug and.
Oh yeah,
issues.
he was a great actor.
He was only 61 years old.
He was with Heidi Fleiss for a little bit too.
Yeah, he was in Natural Born Killers, in Heat.
That's a really good
Pearl
movie.
Harbor, Black Hawk Down.
That didn't do much for me.
I don't think. I mean, a lot of people thought it was great because De Niro and Al Pacino were in it.
Which
but
movie?
Heat.
Oh yeah, I
thought
didn't
it was
like it.
overblown.
Is that when they were
I
chasing
thought-
through the airport?
Yeah,
Well,
I think so.
the
Last
whole
Crime
gun
was-
scene in the downtown LA was really cool because
that's
back then they didn't have CGI. All that was actually done.
Yeah. For some, I remember. For some reason, I think I really didn't like it for some reason.
I
It was
didn't
supposed to
either.
be a good movie. It was a popular
Val
movie.
Kilmer
Becoming
was
more
in it.
popular as people
But
respect it
I don't
more.
know why I just didn't.
Flounder,
like it.
look up Artemis Pyle. Sophia says Artemis is still alive.
Yeah, he's the original drummer. I didn't think I should
he
have
still
said him.
alive?
Oh my God!
So that means he's not. Rosington isn't the last. If Artemis is still alive, what a great name.
Oh
Artemis.
yeah, cool. Let's see. I have a surprise for you here. One more thing to mention.
I got a surprise for you too.
Oh, you do?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. This just a thing to shout out.
Yeah, he's 74. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. He's 74 years old and he's still alive.
Okay, Jeff Hollinger, you
Well-
screwed up. You told me that he was the last
Hey,
one.
it was on the news. It was on the news. Fox,
up.
it's on the news.
Can't believe 11 alive.
Dirty bastards. 11 dead or alive. 60 years after he was recommended for the Medal of Honor for Bravery in Vietnam, a retired Colonel Paris Davis, one of the first black officers to lead Special Forces team in combat, finally received the Medal of Honor. He was due. He's 83 years old. Apparently, some people hid it so he wouldn't get credit for it a couple of times over the past 50 years. And so there was a ceremony. The reason I mention it is because he led a charge against the enemy, artillery fire, hand-to-hand combat. He went into rice paddies several times, dragging wounded comrades back to safety, while he was also shot up from guns and grenade fragments. And his entire team survived, and he was awarded the Medal of Honor. Some of the racists apparently tried to hide it or whatever, so they said. Anyway, the reason I mention this is because Biden, when he gave him the medal in the ceremony, had to mention what a racist country we have, as opposed to talking about his heroism and sacrifice. And it's just, typical of this freaking divisive president, just like his freaking Democrat predecessor. Before I forget, boys, you recall some time ago, Pete, when I brought in some. It wasn't cupcakes. It was Boston cream cake or something. I remember what it was. And we put them in the refrigerator so they stayed cool. And then you went home and didn't get them, and Flounder ate them all. Well, boys, just out of spur of the moment, the other day I got these Hostess cupcake things, one for you and one for Flounder. And I haven't had these Hostess
Wow.
cakes in 30 years, I'll bet you.
Or more. Yeah.
Or 40 years. Now, first of all, they seem a little smaller, which I wouldn't be surprised at all. But I was very surprised because there's a lot of cream, this good cream filling and sweet frosting.
Is it vanilla or banana?
Vanilla.
Okay. That looks good.
And I couldn't believe I couldn't believe it.
Well, I'm glad you're doing that because I've got something for you.
You do? Well, Flounder, yours is over here, see, eh?
All right, put this right here. Don't look.
No, I'm not looking. I'm not looking.
Don't look. Don't look. Don't look.
No looking.
Okay, I'm going to show the people first
All right,
before I show you.
Now this I don't. There's not a.
There.
Oh, it's.
I want you to, we're all going to try one today.
You want to do it today?
Do it right now. Let's try them.
Oh, Mike, these are horrible.
Yeah, this is
It's asbestos. It's not food. It's asbestos. To plug your freaking radiator
I
with
know.
it. I could put this in my tire, and I have to get a new one for $700.
My
whatever.
ex-wife used to leave them
Oh,
out for a couple
God.
of days
One
so
for
they got
you?
stale
Take one.
before she would eat them.
Oh, they're stuck together. Oh, you have to pull you with your hands off.
Bite its head off first.
Flounder. And there's your hostess thing, too. All right, we ready?
Yeah.
Oh, these are horrible. I mean, they're just. Maybe we should hold one up to the camera so they can see what we're talking. Have they always been? I thought they were yellow.
They're all kinds of colors.
Okay, because I remember yellow ones.
They're diverse now.
All right. Oh, it's just freaking horrible.
It's a marshmallow covered with sugar. That's all it is.
But it's not.
I'd dissolve it in hot chocolate. That's what
It's
I
just
would
wait. Well, that way I could do that. I would do that.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
But it's just wasted calories.
do. I can't eat the whole thing.
I can't eat that. Oh, gross.
That's despicable.
Anyway, now your chocolate's over here. I did bring your
Yeah,
chocolate
you
today. Excuse me. Let's see. Oh, many things. And again, we have a lot of news. In fact, I have a bunch of news stories. We'll talk about Antifa, the riot at the forest. Why aren't they shooting those people in the forest?
I know.
Why aren't
Why?
they firing guns at the people, shooting them with Molotov cocktails and rocks and everything else? Full auto, baby.
Flamethrowers.
Set the place on fire. They need to clear it anyway, right? Burn it down. Anyway,
I don't know why we put up with
I
this.
I don't get it.
If they were right on the right, they'd be in there. The FBI would be all over them.
If that was a MAGA headquarters, you don't think the FBI would have been in every one of their homes at 6 a.m. with SWAT teams?
Arresting their families.
That's right. Anyway, we'll talk about President Stupid's visit to Selma, which unfortunately, it was so embarrassing. It was Bloody Sunday. And President showers with daughter. It was the anniversary of the Selma March called Bloody Sunday. Unfortunately, President showers with daughter thought it was a salute to Thelma Ritter, who was a famous old actress. And then they tried to set, a Sunday, Bloody Sunday, and he thought it was that Al Pacino movie about the football team where the bombing of the stadium, and it was very confusing. Poor man. Anyway, he didn't.
Sunday.
Black Sunday. He got it so wrong. Not only that. Another push to bring the Democratic National Convention to Atlanta. I hope if they do,
please.
shut them down, baby. Please. Every intersection. We'll talk about it. Also, the bad doggy burglar, the Minnesota pot bitch, creepy reality television. Also, I've got a story I can't believe, and when I read it to you, and then you tell me whether you would still drink the water. All that and more coming up, plus a couple sound bites and some funny things. But first. I thought this was fairly amusing. This morning, 4:14 a.m., Flounder sends a text message to me and Pete about the Walmart guy.
Oh, was that you?
4:14. Now, I'm probably up. I think I'd just gone back to bed after hitting the head. So, I'm up 3 or 4 days a week anyway. So it's not a big deal for me. But Flounder sent out a text. I've got it here. 4:14 in the morning. Now, Pete is not a big fan of early morning texts. I
was
care.
actually up.
Oh, you were up?
I was.
And it's kind of an old story, but it's fairly cute, so I'll read it to you now. And it was a Flounder sent a tweet at 4:14 in the morning. 2 hours into my first, it's a guy with a vest that says, "How can I help you?" at Walmart. 2 hours into my first day at work as a Walmart greeter, an ugly woman came in with her 2 kids. Hearing her swear at them, I said, "Good morning, welcome to Walmart. Nice kids, are they twins?" The mom answered, "Hell no, they aren't twins. The oldest one's 9, the other one's 7. Why would you think they're twins? Are you blind or stupid?" I replied, "Oh, I'm not blind or stupid. I just couldn't believe someone slept with you twice. Have a good day, and thank you for shopping at Walmart." My supervisor said I probably wasn't really cut off for this kind of work. So that was Flounders 4:14 a.m. text for just working for the show.
What possessed you to think that is so important that had to go out at 4:15 in the morning?
I'm trying to remember, was this morning or was this?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm wondering if I meant to send you guys something else.
Well, I don't know.
Because normally, I mean, I was at work, so I was up doing something. I mean, I was...
Anyway, and also Pete sent us a message the other day. I don't know whether you want to talk about it or not, but about the Tennessee woman cop. Now she's claiming she's a victim.
Yeah, she said no. When?
I didn't see the video of her saying no, and she, next, four guys are swarming her.
Please.
But again,
I said no. Please. You're not a victim.
No, you're hardly a victim.
Okay, you like threesome. You like having sex with people. Own it.
Yeah. And again, this is the Tennessee police officer who would have sex with guys on the job, in the car, at their house, whatever, in the parking lot. And she claimed that she and her husband had an open marriage, and it was news to him. So he said, no, I don't really. Excuse me, you're kissing my wife. I hate when that happens. Anyway, you're just a kisser? Is that your personality? Is that it, really? Anyway, for the record, she's still a skank.
You do her.
Of course.
You do her.
Of course. Let's see. I still. Speaking of TV, two quick things on TV. I still cannot watch the TV commercial where the family leaves the house and the unruly dog's running around and they bring the crate. As soon as I see any segment of that commercial, I have to change the channel.
I finally figured it out.
It makes me mad.
It's about the pandemic because everybody was home. And then now everybody's not at home anymore.
So
so the poor dog's left alone. But it ends nice.
Yeah, well, I know I can't watch it.
Why?
I can't. I don't like it because it just the whole thing starts, and I don't want to have to go through the whole thing to get to the ending. I know it doesn't make any sense.
It's when he's looking out the window watching them leave.
My heart. Again, I still
because Bear used to do that. He used to hold his toy in his mouth at the window and watch me leave. Like,
it break your heart.
It did.
When my horse would whinny after when I'd leave, I can't. It's too much. It's anyway. So just for the record, I still can't watch it. And one more quick TV nitpick thing too. Jesse Waters is getting really, really full of himself. He interrupts his guests.
He's always been
been
full of himself.
I know, but it's getting worse. I mean, he interrupts his guests just to say something when it's really not appropriate.
So he's Sean.
It's just and by the way, this is still driving me nuts. Back when the pandemic happened, all of a sudden, all the TV interviewers were going on Zoom and dislocated spots. They couldn't be in the studio together. Yeah. And so all of a sudden, you'd see every night on Tucker, he would say, here, I guess is so-and-so bippity-bop, thanks for being with us. 3 seconds later, the guy would say, oh, thank you, Tucker. Great. Well, Tucker's still talking because it's called an IFB. It's a feedback thing you put in, the little thing they have in their ear, and the director gives them questions or, wrap it up or whatever. And when the guest has one too, and the problem is there's a delay. And I don't know why they can't fix the stupid delay because it happens every single interview, and it just drives me nuts. It's been 2 years. Anyway, just for the record, I just freaking going crazy. And he's really bothering. I mean, I like his stuff, but he's getting way too full of himself.
He strikes me as the type of guy that if he went to work for CNN, he'd be spouting liberal shit. He's going to say whatever someone's paying him to say.
I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think Tucker would, but I think he will. I think he's a broadcaster. I think he's an entertainer, broadcaster guy. I don't see him as a political commentator who got a job on TV.
He thinks he is.
Well, I know, but he's a TV guy. He's not a commentator who got a job on TV.
I got hair like this.
Yeah,
I'm showing his
and he has great hair.
hair.
He's got great. Man, don't I wish I had hair like I mean. And again, how is it possible that scientists haven't devised a freaking chemical that you can have hair?
How much money would they make if they did that?
Oh my God!
Look at the money they had with the hard pill.
Viagra.
Think about, and that's just something that no one really sees unless you're having sex. Imagine if everyone could see your hair every day. The money they would make.
How is it possible that there isn't a cream that stimulates the growth of your hair? And if they can transplant some stuff from the side and put a hole in your head and put the hair in there and it grows It grows. I mean, so therefore, there's life in the area. They just have to put the follicle roots.
With the DNA stuff they have
unbelievable.
now and the stuff they can do with the genetics and everything, how can they not
I don't get it.
put the hair follicles back
you
in?
would make $1 billion in a week.
It would be the biggest thing ever.
In a week.
It would be bigger than Viagra.
Oh God. I'd do it. How much would you pay to have a Jesse Waters head of hair?
Not his hair. I don't like that.
Well,
type
I
of-
mean, a great head of hair, whatever you want to
yeah,
call
like
it.
Paul McCartney's hair or something.
Pick a style. Whatever.
Mick Jagger still got all his hair.
How
the
much would
son
you
of a
pay
bitch.
to have a great head of hair?
Oh God, I don't know how much.
$5,000?
Oh yeah, I'd pay $5,000.
Flounder? Well, you
Well, he
got a
don't-
good.
he don't have to
You
worry
got good
about
hair.
I mean, I take Propecia.
Yeah, but you're not gonna. I don't think
See,
you have a little widow's peak, but you don't.
No,
have,
it's gonna go.
you don't have baldness. I don't think you don't. Is your
I have
dad?
I have the standard male pattern baldness.
Yeah, but
Was your
it's not
mother
bad.
losing her hair?
No,
Your
Or her-
grandmother.
her-
Actually, it's
her
the grandmother.
father.
my grandfather, he didn't go completely bald, but he
'Cause
thinned
that's where
out
you
as he
get it.
got older.
The mother's side is where you
I
get
thought it was the mother's grandparents.
Yeah, something like
But
that.
anyway, and in fact, my father's father was bald. Anyway, whatever. But again, how could they not? How could not a million scientists say, "Boy, I'm going to figure this one out, boy"?
'Cause if they do-
that's all I would do is use. I don't know. I don't get it. I'm not smart enough to
And that
figure it out. So
Rogaine, none of that. I don't think any of that stuff works. To tell you the truth.
for some people, apparently it does. There's a when I had a doctor gave me treatments, he said there's sometimes the hairs just need to be. The follicles need to be stimulated, and they're in there, but they aren't growing. I don't know. I have no idea. But again, I'm flabbergasted that there's not.
Mark says Viagra was originally invented to grow hair back.
That's right. That was one of the side effects was growing hair. Sometimes where you didn't want it, like in your ears or your nose or whatever, which would kind of suck. Okay. Let's see. You want to do a Chris Rock thing first? Sure. Oh, we got Chris Rock. We also have. I'll tell you about the Saturday Night Live. Now I got to find.
You know what? It came on. I got Netflix up and running and Amazon, and I turned it on just as he was coming on, and I go, I don't want to hear this. I just had no care whatsoever to
On the
listen.
SNL?
No, Chris Rock on his
Chris Rock.
Netflix special.
Well, the only reason I saw it was because he came out with a real public blasting.
Where did you
of the
see it?
reaction to it. I just heard it. I didn't see it on TV. I heard it it was on social media, all over the place, social media. And I think Fox played some edited sound bites of it too. In fact,
A
we'll play
lot
it
of
for you
people
here.
said it was kind of lame.
Oh, I don't. Well, we have this. You'll hear it in a second.
I didn't hear too many bad reviews, but I heard he messed up one of the big jokes or like a punchline. He kind of messed up or didn't.
Well, I wouldn't know that. But he rips Will Smith and talks about the Oscar slap. Chris Rock is 58. Barrage of blistering attacks on the 50. Oh, I beg your pardon. Yeah, he's 58. Blistering attacks on the 54-year-old actor and his wife Jada Pinkett Smith, 51, in the last minutes of a selective outrage. The Netflix story thing. An hour into the set, he addressed the incident referencing the former rapper Suge Knight, who's in prison serving a murder sentence. And Chris said, "Y'all know what happened to me getting smacked by Suge Smith." Will Smith. Everybody knows. Everybody effing knows. Yes, it happened. I got smacked a year ago. Anyway, we'll talk more about it afterwards. Flounder, would you play a little Chris Rock here and see whether you think it was...
Sure, I got 3 cuts for us, so I'll
Okay.
play the first one.
If you're playing it, I can't hear it.
You know what happened to me? Getting smacked by Suge Smith. Everybody knows I got smacked at the Oscars by this mother. And people like, did it hurt? It still hurts. I got summertime ringing in my ears. But I'm not a victim, baby. You will never see me on Oprah or Gayle crying. You will never see it. Never gonna happen. I couldn't believe it, and I love Men in Black. No. It's never gonna happen. No. I took that hit like Pacquiao.
You got another one?
I don't think Pacquiao was ever slapped, but
No, but...
Pacquiao would have hit
Oh.
back.
I know you can't tell on camera. Will Smith is significantly bigger than me. We are not the same size, okay? We are not God, this guy, Will Smith does movies with his shirt off. You've never seen me do a movie with my shirt off. If I'm in a movie getting open heart surgery, I got on a sweater. Will Smith played Muhammad Ali in a movie. You think I auditioned for that part? He played Muhammad Ali. I played Pookie in New Jack City. I played a piece of corn in Pootie Tang. A lot of people. It happened to me, getting smacked by Suge Smith.
That was the first one. Is that it?
Well, I know you can't tell on camera. Will Smith is
heard that one, too.
significantly big.
That one too.
There may be one more. Well, that's all right. We're good. Everything's fine. Folks, we're doing live.
No, it happened to me, getting smacked.
No.
No, it happened to me.
Yeah, it looks like there's two.
Oh, that's all right.
Suge Smith.
But here's the part that I thought was interesting. He name-checked the title of his special, accused Smith of practicing selective outrage and referenced Jada's entanglements. Do you have that one?
I'll find that one. I just downloaded something that didn't have a bunch of cuss words in it, so give me a minute and I'll find that.
Oh,
one
okay.
for you.
Well, should I wait?
Just give
Oh,
your
I'll
opinion of it. Don't
here's-
read what he did because we're
Okay.
about to play it.
Well, he outed Will Smith and he outed Jada, saying she's the one who hurt his feelings way more than I ever did hurt her feelings, because she was skanking around on him back when they had was splitting their marriage. She was skanking around with people he knows, close people he knows, which to me would have been the ball game. I don't know how
their
your wife,
son's friend.
Yeah, well,
She was.
Are we going to find it or not find? I'll go ahead and tell what he was doing if we don't find it. But anyway, that's basically what he said. He said, for people who don't know what everybody else knows, Will Smith, his wife was blanking her son's friend. He mocked Will Smith for his appearance on Jada's Facebook watch show, Red Table Talk, in which they talked about her cheating on him. And Chris Rock said, we've all been cheated on. Everybody's been cheated on. None of us have ever been interviewed by the person that cheated on us on television. She hurt him way more than he hurt me. Everybody in the world called him a B. I tried to call them a blank blank and give him my condolences. He ain't even for me picking up the phone. Everybody called him a B. Everybody called that man a B. Charlemagne the God called him a B. Is that for bitch?
Probably.
Bastard? It's a B and then like three blank. I don't know.
Probably a bit.
Bitch.
Wait a minute. How many things after?
Let's see. 1, 2, 4. Yeah, it must be bitch. Effing Charlemagne the God called him a bitch. The Breakfast Club called him a bitch. The View and the Talk, every rapper called him a bitch. His wife a predator. Everybody called him a bitch. Everybody. And who does he hit? Me. So, I can't do Chris Rock. But again, that's pretty clever. A pretty thing. He says, so I did some jokes about it. Who gives a blank? That's how it is. She starts it. I finish it. That's what blank happened. Nobody's picking on this bitch. She started this blank. Anyway, he goes on and on. But that's, again, he addressed it. And how can you, I can't imagine, I guess it's just the Hollywood showbiz people. Your wife cheats on you with a friend of your son or whoever, and then you interview her about it on television. Her stuff would have been in the driveway in boxes. I'm sorry. Anyway, whatever. The first time that ever happened. But seriously, and now Saturday Night Live on picking on Fox on Saturday night. And again, I haven't watched Saturday Night Live since the 70s, I think. Maybe something in the 80s, basically. But, whoa, Gesundheit. Saturday Night Live had a cold open. Oh, Gesundheit, my friend. I'm telling you, the pollen,
Allergies.
The normal pollen count's like 300. Today it's 6,000 or something. That's the difference.
I didn't notice.
I've noticed. And Flounder sure is noticing. Anyway, Saturday Night Live cold open was getting Fox and Friends, ripping Fox and Friends, getting Rupert Murdoch and Alex Murdaugh and the cases, the murderer and the Rupert Murdoch thing, cases mixed up and having a little fun with it. So here's a little, if we have Saturday Night Live, this is how they kind of made some fun on Fox over the weekend, Saturday night.
We have a special guest whose appearances on Fox were heavily featured in the trial. He's a Fox News staple and happens to be our #1 advertiser. It's My Pillows, Mike Lindell.
Hello, Ainsley and the guys. I'm down at at CPAC right now, and it is an absolute blast. I was just over at the Biden dunk tank. It's not the real Biden you dunk, but the actor is just as old, so you never know if he's coming back up. There's real risk there.
That's great. Well, we're glad to have you on, but because of this lawsuit, our lawyers have asked that you please don't say anything crazy about Dominion.
No problem. I've been briefed. I know the rules. Every Dominion machine has a Venezuelan Oompa Loompa inside that eats the votes with its little mouth.
Mike, gotta cut you off there, pal. You know, we can't just be saying whatever anymore.
Of course. Let me.
High school?
I know. Honestly, it reminded. I didn't see it. I saw it.
I mean, no, that's just bad writing.
They're supposedly
bad
the
comedy.
best
Right.
that we have in the country, and that's what they come up with.
It's brutal.
It's not even funny.
It's literally like a high school drama class.
Basically, okay, we got to trash the Republicans, we got to trash Fox, we got to trash the conservatives. It doesn't matter if it's funny, just trash them.
Yeah. Saturday Night Live was a trendsetter. Nobody missed Saturday Night Live.
You're right. Nobody, all the way up to Dana Carvey's church lady, and then after that,
Wasn't that special?
It kind of went down. Now, was he after Eddie Murphy?
Oh, I don't. Yeah, probably. Well, Eddie Murphy wasn't one of the original ones.
That's the last time I remember being at a party and everyone stopped. Oh my God, Dana Carvey's on, the church lady, and everybody stopped to watch it.
Yeah, it was great. It was funny. It was clever. It was outrageous. It was irreverent. It was bawdy. It was naughty. You know, they did jokes about
funny.
And funny. Samurai dry cleaner or whatever.
Dry cleaner. Buck Henry standing there.
Dan Aykroyd with the fish in a blender. You know, remember the we put a bass in the
Bass-O-Matic.
Bass-O-Matic.
You know, that's how he got the job. For Lorne Michaels is Belushi walked in there and did the samurai thing and got the job.
There you are. I mean, it's these, and again, it was everything about it. The characters were great. The cast was great. The writing was great. It fit. And it was live, and it was outrageous, and it was 11 o'clock on Saturday night. And
when was the last time they produced a star? That girl that was a few years ago, and she's faded
Pat?
now.
The one?
No, the blonde hair that was in Bridesmaids and everything.
Well,
she became a star for a brief moment.
Parks and Rec girl.
Yeah, okay, Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. Amy
Poehler.
wasn't big. Tina was big when she was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went on, but name one since then.
I wouldn't, honestly, I wouldn't know because I haven't watched the show, so I don't know who was there, who is now somewhere else that I do see. I just haven't watched it. And again, that's just, it's the way it goes. Things change.
Oh, I know, Bill Hader.
Oh,
Bill Hader.
Yeah.
He's great. Yeah, Bill Hader's
He's
great.
been in a lot of things lately. All right, hold on. Coming up, you're going to hear about, we'll talk more about the burning of the forest at Antifa, some interesting tweets on the lump of ectoplasm who's pretending to be a United States senator from Pennsylvania. Also, I saw the Trump speech Saturday night, and if he plays his cards right, this might be something happen, but I'm still nervous about it. Also, the Murdaugh
He stayed
trial.
on script.
What's that?
He stayed on script.
Yeah. Well, he did 5 really perfect right things, which we'll talk about here in a second. Trump in his speech Saturday night at CPAC.
2 hour long or something?
Well, it went like an hour 40 minutes. I watched the whole thing. Yeah.
Too long.
Well, I know, but again, you can tell when he goes off the teleprompter. Anyway, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Also coming up, some tweets about Don Jr. The Murdaugh trial. Now they're going. The community's going after the surviving son, who may be involved in another potential murder that was staged. Looked like an accident. Also,
they say I was listening over the weekend, something on Fox, and they interviewed that girl you like, Emily or whatever, the law girl,
the companion,
and she was saying that family ran that section of South Carolina like there was a fiefdom.
Yeah, when they had the boating accident where his son basically was at the wheel and they tried to deny it, killed a girl in the boating accident. The cops were there in the hotel, in the hospital room, because everybody was in the hospital room, and all of a sudden Alec Murdaugh and his father, the grandfather and the father of the Murdaughs of South Carolina, walked into the hospital room and said, "Okay, that's it, you're out. Everybody go away."
And you know what they said?
Stopped it right there.
You know what they said? This was no boating accident. If I was a family,
oh man,
and if I was family of the girl who died, and they got away with it,
well, they're suing them.
I'd kill them all.
Yeah,
I'd kill them all. I'd catch them out in public somewhere and I'd blow their heads off.
Isn't there a documentary on Netflix about this? About
he's like 2 or 3.
And isn't the son gay? And one of the kids in high school.
Well, no, the kid who died, what happened was on their near their property out in the middle of the boondocks of all the land they own, a kid who was a classmate of Buster Murdaugh was found dead lying in the middle of the road, banged in the head, looked like a car had hit him, but there was no evidence of bumpers or pain or anything, but it looked like a car had hit him and fled. He was found dead. And they think that the Murdaugh family knows something about it because it was on their thing, you know. And so now they're trying to investigate the surviving kid, brother, son, to see whether he might have known something about the death of the gay kid from his high school. And don't forget the maid who fell apparently playing with the dogs and fell down the stairs and died. And so Murdaugh apparently told the family, well, here, we'll give you this lawyer so you can sue the insurance company or whatever, which they did, and won $500,000, and Alex Murdaugh kept it. Never gave it to him, to the children.
Does South Carolina have the equivalent of the GBI?
Yeah.
Something bigger
State
than that?
Absolutely. Well, state police.
But they can be bought
detectives,
too.
yeah. But again, it was the power when he walked into the hospital room and said, "Okay, everybody out." Oh no, he wasn't. No, we can't prove he was driving. We were, and now they're bringing all that. Everything is coming up.
It's like
again.
Walking Tall was back in the '60s. It's kind of like that thing.
Power plays and somebody trying to do something for the community.
Yeah, it's Roadhouse. The guy who ran the big guy in the town.
Although he wasn't the dancer, boxer, bouncer.
They're doing a remake.
I'm dancing.
Roadhouse?
I'm boxing.
They're doing a remake of Roadhouse.
Bouncer, da, 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 da.
You know who's going to
Who's
star?
going to be in it? Rocky?
Jake Gyllenhaal. And they
come
over the weekend
on.
they showed him he's just built right
in the
now.
MMA, yeah, because he's in some movie where he's an MMA fighter.
Yeah.
And there was a match this weekend where he came out and they filmed a scene because the crowd was there for an actual event.
Yeah.
And he's ripped.
He is ripped.
I mean, he's
but still, he doesn't seem well. Whatever. I mean, why would they make a remake of that?
because that's all they do now.
I thought that was the dumbest movie I've ever seen. I
whoa,
couldn't even
whoa,
watch
whoa.
it.
All they have is writers who are under age of 30, and they got zero ideas because they have zero life experience.
I mean, what's the dead guy who played the star?
Patrick Swayze.
Swayze. In fact,
Sam Elliott was
That's
in
the
it?
dumbest
I mean,
movie. I can't watch it.
After you watch
so stupid.
after you
John
watch the girl who
Dalton?
got the
Whoa.
nose
Sam
job,
Elliott.
the dancer.
It's a great movie.
It's not a great movie. It's
No,
a
it's
stupid
horrible.
movie. Okay, maybe the end where the violence is hitting and he's getting revenge. But the first hour where he's sitting out doing the Tai Chi out on the lawn and the helicopter lands is like, oh God, just shoot me. I mean, come on.
I mean, plus after Dirty Dancing, where you see the dancing with the
I never
hair
saw
and the
that
thing,
either.
the top.
Did you ever see
Oh
Ghost?
my God! Now he's a
Ghost
bouncer.
is a good movie. Ghost was a good movie. The subway scene where the ghost is teaching him how to
yeah,
kick
that
the
was
thing around. That was a great character.
Yeah,
actor.
but when he's holding her in the pot, I don't know.
She was
It's
hot
just-
back then.
Well,
Demi
she was
That
hot
guy was
back then.
scary as hell looking.
Wasn't that before her boob job? She got
Yeah.
the boob job for the movie, a stripper movie.
The stripper, which was based on
Somebody I can't remember.
Carl Hiaasen's book.
Oh, that's right. One of the great. By the way, is he still alive?
Yeah, I think he is.
Carl, I haven't read Carl. If you don't know who Carl Hiaasen is, he's a famous Florida curmudgeonly writer, columnist. He was in the newspapers for years and years. He's an author. He's written every book he's written. Including you could get him back in the '60s, and you would still laugh at Carl Hiaasen's even talking about how the different automobiles and there was no cell phone. I mean, even the old stories of his are still hysterical. He's to me, is a very funny writer about life in Florida. They're all crazy. They're all crooks. They're all drug dealers. There's alligators in your house. I mean, it's just everything about every weird thing about Florida.
Long before Florida Man became a thing, Carl was writing about Florida Man.
Yeah. His columns. I mean, he's Carl Hiaasen, Hiaassen
Herald,
or something.
maybe, or something?
I don't remember, but I mean, I've read so many of his books, and I'll bet it's been 20 years since I've even seen one on the shelf.
I know.
Anyway, if you don't know who Carl, if you want a fun read in the hammock or whatever, Carl Hiaasen is pretty funny guy. All right, hold on. I got some tweets which I think are pretty funny. President Stupid going to Selma by mistake. The Forest People, creepy reality TV, and honestly, I'm telling you this, give you this story. I don't know whether you saw it or not, about something happened in Florida, and ask you whether you would drink the water. But first. One of our longtime Kimmer Show podcast sponsors, our friends at Wise RV Glass. We love these people. What a great idea. This was so big during the pandemic in particular. The Wise RV Glass, Wise is W-I-S-E, like Wise. RV Glass is a company that will replace and take care of any and all glass issue on your RV, motor coach, camper, vehicles like that. If you have maybe even a fogged up double pane window, or even a cracked or spiderweb rear view mirror, or side view mirror, or back window, or the front hard to find one piece flat windshields in some of these SUVs and stuff, they take care of all that for you. And the good news is it's an all mobile service. They come to you. They use your window frame. They save you money right there. Take care of business. You don't have to go driving around and whatever. You make your deal. They show up and take care of you. And I mean everywhere, all over North Georgia, all of Metro Atlanta. No job is too small. And you're thinking, oh, it's a side view mirror. No, that's what they do. That's what they do. I mean, believe me, you're helping these folks, and they're going to take care of you. Dad, Carl retired a little while ago, and Russell's family running the business here. They really take care of business for you. Any glass issue, all mobile service. Here's a phone number. Wise RV Glass, area 470-345-6521. And on the web, wiservglass.com. And again, if you'd like to be a sponsor or just a donation, go to thekimmershow.net. And you can link up to Venmo and PayPal, get a hold of Pete to get sponsorship stuff, whatever you want to look for. It'd be great.
Cindy wants you to fix your microwave clock.
What?
That's driving her crazy.
Where's when the door's open?
Yeah.
She can see it.
What do you got your microwave on?
No, because sometimes if the power goes out, the microwave clock will reset to 12 o'clock, and I don't reset it because I have the one on my oven.
Well, how does she know what your clock did?
Because sometimes when the door is open, the camera can see out there.
Oh, my God. Somebody's paying way too much attention. I'm a little nervous about this.
Did you guys have a big storm Friday afternoon? During the tornado warning?
Yeah.
It was more
It knocked our power out.
I took my flag down.
It knocked our power out.
I brought my
It was
flag
windy
inside.
here, like you had said, but we didn't get a lot of...
Yeah, I didn't get any hail or anything, but I took the flag in.
The first 2 nights I stayed up there, it stormed like I've never heard of a storm.
Was it pretty? Was it nice? I mean, was it?
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice.
I wonder if
it was like, holy cow.
air coming over the mountains or something. It might be
It was just
drafting colder air.
It was
or
just big
something.
bad storm. The landlord goes, gosh, we never really get 2 in a row like that, but it was like boom, boom.
How far is the owner's house from your place?
It's on the other side of the mountain. I can walk to it
You can
if I
walk to
want,
it?
but I'm kind of lazy. I don't want to walk up. By the way, an update.
Yes, thanks. How you doing? How's it
Rocky
going?
wanted to know about if I'm wearing my overalls yet. I have yet to buy a pair of overalls, but I'm going to because I love overalls.
Rhino wears them.
I got the snake boots, the waterproof snake boots.
Oh,
So tried them out.
Smart.
Tried them out. And the mail woman I met my mail woman, and she came down and she goes, "Gosh, I've been doing this for 20 years. I never knew this house was down here."
Oh, be damned.
It's like, holy cow. But so I went to a stream, and I'm sitting there, it's cold as hell, and the stream's going by, and going, this is great. This is wonderful. Is that gold? And I'm reaching down, grabbing stuff. And all of a sudden, it's like, why is my right foot wet? The left foot boot works, but the right foot doesn't. So I'm going to have to send it back. It's made, It's made in the Dominican Republic. The boots.
You had to send for it in the mail?
Yeah.
Don't they have snake boots at some Dick's Sporting Goods
not
or
my
something?
size. I need an 11 wide, and no one had
That's
it.
what I wear.
So now I'm going to have to.
What about the Great Outdoors? What's that bit? The
Where
Bass.
is that?
I mean, the Bass Pro Shop. I bet
I've
they
tried them, Cabela's, and they don't have my size, at least not in the style that I wanted. So I ordered it on Amazon, and it doesn't work, so I got to send it back.
Man, that sucks.
That does suck.
Now, other than that, how are you enjoying the place? The loneliness? I mean, it's kind of solitary.
It is solitary, even though, I mean, I can walk up and talk to people up there at the top of the mountain if I want, or I can go
Did you go see the horses? The horse rescue
I haven't
place
walked
there?
down there yet, but I don't really have to go anywhere. There's like 8 deer that ran across while I was doing the show early this morning. There was 8 deer that went across
Talking
the
to
front
deer
yard.
is as good as people.
There were wild turkeys.
Turkeys?
turkeys
Gobble,
out there.
gobble. You know, yeah. Is it illegal to shoot turkeys in Georgia?
On your land, I imagine.
I'll be damned. That's some good eating there. Anyway, good. And so, Flounder, what about your weekend? Any fun weekend things? Or?
I had the niece's 4th birthday on Saturday, so went over there, and there was about 7 or 8 4 to 5 year olds running
that's gotta be a
around.
fun
So
trip there.
yeah, it was fun.
Excellent.
And then yesterday, I just laid around here, did some laundry, and just kind of went for a walk. It was really nice, but other than that, just kind of
there you go.
kept it lazy.
Well, boys, it's going to be a beautiful time of the year. We hope it
We
continues.
did have
to
one
be fun.
incident.
What's that?
It knocked the power out, and of course that knocked the pump out, which means it had no water. So we're down there
Oh,
trying
my
to
God.
fix it, and the fix-it guy came to look at it, and he goes, "Well, I need to look at something in the house. Could you move a couple of these boxes to the side?" I said, "Sure." So I pick up this cardboard box, and I take 2 steps, and both the landlord and the fix-it guy both go, "Whoa!" And I'm like, "Oh shit! Is there a snake or something?" I turn around. There was a spider the size of my hand,
Oh, my.
right where my hand was when I picked up the
Oh.
box. And I said, "Is it poisonous?" And the guy goes, "No, that's not poisonous. It's a blank spider. I forget what he called it. It's not poisonous, but you'll probably bump your head when it tries to jump at you, jumping out of its way."
Oh, jeez. That's what I need. Is a
was that
jumping
big.
spider as big as your hand. Go right in your eye.
Aliens.
It's going to come.
It's a giant North Georgia barking spider.
Oh, Lordy. the
I
spitting.
think about tying a string to it and having it go, using it to go fish.
Yeah, there
throw
you
it out
go.
there and
Somebody-
grab the fish and bring it in.
Oh, my dear Lord.
You know that in the Philippines, they train otters, and they have ropes on otters. They walk them like dogs. The otter goes in and catches the fish and brings it back to the fisherman.
Are you
I'm
serious?
serious.
Wow. I didn't know you could train an otter to go and bring it back.
Bring it back.
Now, I'm throwing the flag. I'm sorry. I don't think you can train an otter to go get a fish and bring it, sit, boy, give, drop. I mean, please.
Otters. People have otters as pets.
Have we seen this anywhere?
That's a video.
You saw the
I
video?
watched it yesterday.
All right. Well, then
It must be true.
It's got to be true. If you saw
on
it,
the
if it's on the internet, it's got to be true. If it's on Wikipedia, like I understand, anybody can put anything on Wikipedia, so you're getting all the true stuff.
By the way, we got a bingo American flag 05.
Oh,
American
5 bingo
flag.
American. No, I didn't get anything on the tire. I guess the tires aren't on the bingo card. Let's see. All right, hold on a second here. We got tweets. Oh, here we go. This is fairly. I'm checking Twitter again. That's on the bingo card. Kimmer checking Twitter once or twice a day. Coming around, people are starting to wonder now, after they discovered that John Fetterman, the brain-addled vegetable, who is officially a senator from Pennsylvania and is brain-addled and incompetent. He can't function because of his stroke. John Fetterman co-sponsored a bill from the hospital.
How did he do that?
One guy said, "Gee, I've never heard of such a thing. Why aren't they releasing the photos? Since when do mental patients co-sponsor Senate bills?" The man he can't communicate because of his stroke, and he's so medically depressed he can't function. He's been hospitalized for depression. Now, again, we're not, we don't mean to demean that. If you're hospitalized because of depression, that's
big time.
Big time, Charlie.
You're about suicidal.
You can't. Yeah, you can't fight. If you're so bad you can't think or get out of bed, you're not a United States senator able to function for your country.
Well, you hear what the wife and kids did.
Well, tell the story.
They left the country.
Yeah, they went. His bisexual Brazilian wife decided to take a little vacation.
So social media was so bad, she left the country. Bitch, you ran him.
Yeah, that's right.
You made him do this.
She's the senator from Pennsylvania, and everybody knew that was going to happen. She's going to be. She's going to. Yeah, she took off.
She's in Canada.
Yeah. Comments. Democrats aren't playing with a full deck. Fetterman needs to provide sign of life from the mental ward. Everyone's questioning, is Fetterman actually dead? Does anyone else find it odd that John Fetterman is hospitalized with clinical depression and is co-sponsoring bills in the Senate?
If this was a Republican,
oh, please.
They'd be
if
waiting
this had been
outside.
that George Lopez or whatever the guy in New York they're talking about, wouldn't being hospitalized for depression mean you shouldn't be doing legislative work? John Fetterman able to co-sponsor a bill while currently missing in action in the hospital. What a miracle, or something. And then, breaking at CPAC, Donald Trump Jr. just disgustingly attacked disabled people just like his father did. Here's the direct quote. Pennsylvania managed to elect a vegetable. I'd love for John Fetterman to have good gainful employment. Maybe he could be like a bag guy at a grocery store. But is it unreasonable for me to expect, as a citizen of the United States of America, to have a U.S. senator have basic cognitive function? And so this guy called Donald Trump Jr. an ignorant piece of crap. But again, he's, yeah. But still, this is... In fact, let me mention the Trump thing now before I forget. This is why the Democrats win. And I watched the speech of Donald Trump Saturday night. And in fact, Fox was kind of shamed into covering it. They weren't going to cover it until Steve Bannon was at CPAC and started blasting Fox News for anti-Trump. They're doing everything they can to hurt Donald Trump. And so Fox decided, well, we better cover it. So they covered his speech live, the whole thing. And I will say this, it's still Donald Trump. So, Donald Trump running again for president, we all know what that might mean and the issues and everything else. But he did say some very, very important things. Donald Trump said when he is elected president again, he's going to crack down on election fraud and so and so. But then he said, until that time, we're going to do what the Democrats do. We're going to stuff ballots. We're going to have drop boxes in churches. We're going to have people early voting for a year. We're going to have gathering of bundled votes at old people's sick homes and in hospitals and in nursing homes and every other freaking place you can find. And we're going to have people just send out ballots by the millions or Republican ballot. He said, we're going to do everything they did, and that's how they won. Now, you can't prove that they cheated in that everybody who voted Democrat was not legally able to vote Democrat. I mean, we can't prove that, but the election was fixed because of all the things the Democrats did to make sure they weren't going to lose. John Fetterman got elected because they knew he had a stroke and said, oh my God, let's open up the early voting. And they told all the Democrats, vote now. We don't, he might die. Vote now. And they did. It was Republicans who went to the polls on election day, and by then it was too late. They'd already elected the Democrat. Because they said, vote early. That's what we're doing, early voting. Donald Trump said, when I'm president, he said, let me tell you what happened in France. France had their general election. France elected their president or the prime minister, whoever it was, in one day using paper ballots, and they had the results at 10:30 at night. Yeah. One day voting. None of this, 3-month early crap. One day voting, paper ballots, where you write the name, check the name and give it in, and they had the result at 10:30 at night, and he said, when I'm president, we're going to have one-day voting and paper ballots. And then he said, but until that point, we're going to do all the stuff the Democrats did. Now, of course, it'll never pass. It'll never pass.
People want convenience.
I know, but I'm saying the point was that Trump said all the right things. He said the right thing to do is this, but we can't do the right thing because Democrats are going to steal it from us, so we're going to be like the Democrats. I mean, it was really flabbergasting. We've been saying this for months. The end is justifiable. You have to beat these people. You can't trust. They're not playing the game. They're lying and cheating and doing all the things they do for the goal of winning. They elected Fetterman. Come on. Anyway, so Donald Trump did all the right thing. Early mailing, ballot harvesting, setting up ballot.
Pardoning the January 6th people.
Yeah. Everything he said is exactly the right thing, and I'm hoping maybe the people who didn't, get off their butts and wouldn't vote for Herschel Walker, would finally come together for this election if he's the nominee. And again, I don't, just if he's the nominee, we're going to go through the whole thing again.
It's going to be even worse this time. The left will do everything.
They're never going to vote for him.
They're never going to do anything for the country either while he's in there, because anything that makes him look good, they're not going to do. Yeah. It's going to be open revolt is what it's going to be. So what are you going to do? You're going to put him down, or are you going to keep putting up with this Antifa bullshit? Did you see where Walmart's pulling out of Portland?
Yeah. Walmart, yeah. And not only, there was a story today about a well-known developer and real estate mogul and stuff. He says, I'm leaving. We can't do this. You can't live in Portland. Look what they've done.
Democrats.
Again, this started years ago. We saw what was happening in Portland and Seattle and Baltimore and Washington.
What's happening here?
Chicago.
Antifa.
And now Antifa in the forest people, like that's got anything to do with anything. I mean,
I'm sure, I don't know if you have this on your agenda, but you heard Eric Adams, what he sounded off on, the mayor of New York City.
Oh, on the
Talking about Lori Lightfoot losing the election because of a lot of these policies.
yeah. Well, it is a warning.
No. She was unelected. The same people who put her in there 4 years ago have suddenly become racist.
Yeah. Suddenly
and kicked her out because she's a black
They're
woman in America.
anti-black and anti-woman. She didn't say anti-gay. She said that she didn't like me because I'm black and female. She left off the gay part, which
And then you saw,
she has.
I forget if it was Thursday or Friday, there was a officer killed in Chicago.
Yeah.
And she was right next to
Yeah,
the mayor.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, too late. Lori.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought that was kind of freaking bizarre. So good luck on if at least Trump said the right things. I mentioned the Murdaugh things a little bit. Did you? This was lucky timing. On Friday, I guess it was when I got home. I got home. I was home Friday after I guess went to the stable, and I came home, and I turned on the TV, and there is the judge about to give his sentencing for Alex Murdaugh. I have never seen or been in a courtroom or seen video of a judge's sentencing charge to the defendant. Have you ever actually seen a judge saying, given the, I saw the whole thing. Yeah. He told the stories of the family and the power and the grandfather on down. I've worked with you in court. I mean, the whole, history of the Murdaugh family and how powerful they are and so and so. And the judge was very calm and relaxed, and he kind of, he said, I know you. I've been to parties with you, and we know your family, and I guess it was just, I guess it was the part of you that became a monster. I mean, it was getting the judges,
was the judge saying this?
The judge was giving the whole thing of why, when they
he said we went to parties.
Oh yeah, I've seen you at functions, and you've been in my courtroom before, and your family's da. We know each other. I mean, they're all lawyers. They're all lawyers. They go to we've gone to conventions and meetings and lawyer meetings and stuff. And he said, I guess the part of you that became a monster was and he's just just very calm. And then he said I understand that the prosecution made an arrangement at the beginning to avoid the death penalty. And he wanted to give him the death penalty. I mean, it was, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I've never seen that. I've never actually seen the live judge sentencing a guy to 2 consecutive life terms. And he said, I know, probably every night when you go to bed, you'll be seeing the faces of your son and your wife. I mean, it was unbelievable. And I'm thinking, oh man, this is so freaking cool.
I remember the time we were in a Mongolian nut cluster together, and
we're driving along, and
is it wrong?
Grown man. You eat 1 foot, you're a cannibal.
So there we were in the hot tub with Harmon Wages,
who just came out with a book. Did you know he just wrote a book?
I wonder if that's in it.
I don't know. I wouldn't be a bit surprised. I bet he's going to talk about that hot blonde was a local talent girl, Debbie Norville.
Oh, she.
And in fact, I
good-looking.
remember the first time I met. Well, she was in Atlanta, and then I went to Chicago, and then she went to CBS, and I ended up doing a story with her, and she was also covering it at the same time I was, together with her, and I'd forgotten. I mean, she's like a 6-footer. She was a beautiful, big girl, but perfectly proportioned, but real seriously large. I mean, not large, but real old woman. And
bigot.
And she was great at what she did.
She was a bigot.
She had a big girl. Anyway,
Biggins, brought to you by Atlanta Custom Closets.
There you are.
ClosetPro.net. 404-255-0589 is the number. If you're Deborah Norville, you need a big closet from Atlanta Custom Closets just to walk in there and put your stuff in there. Well, that's how you do it. ClosetPro.net is how you contact them. The ladies, men, everybody loves closets. Yeah. I could use more closets.
Organizing to have everything right there where you want it. Oh. Your shoes, your shirts, your whatever. They'll take care of whatever you
Okay,
want. They do.
For the first time ever, I have a shoe rack thing. You know, it's a bunch of you
Yeah.
hang it up. There's a bunch of holes to
Yeah.
put stuff in.
Yeah.
I'm not putting shoes in there.
No.
I got one for underwear, one for socks.
There you
one
are.
For, I mean,
yeah, that's
it's
a girl
great.
thing. Well,
Well,
that's
you only have 2
yeah.
pairs of shoes.
I got 3 pairs.
Well-
Now with my snake boots, which won't fit in
Yeah,
them.
but girls have like 60 pairs of shoes, so they have to have those folding things. We just got a nice note here from Fernando Colon. Oh, sorry, I should have the last name. Sent us a very large donation here. Howdy, boys. Enjoying the show from Houston.
Houston, he's our Houston guy.
He's our Houston guy.
He
Yeah,
actually
thank you, Fernando.
sent me a Holy Crap It's Sports we did back in the 2000s. Which is pretty
Oh, no
funny.
kidding.
And it was right after Bush beat Kerry, so we were talking about the election.
Oh, no kidding. Oh,
Yeah.
my damn.
I'll send it
Send
to
it to us. That's cool. That's cool. And again, Holy Crap at Sports, I assume later today?
First time ever, I did a midnight show. I did it this
Oh, my
morning.
God.
Did it this morning because I don't have to worry about waking anybody up anymore.
There you are. Anyway, so
I was going to say, are you adjusting to your schedule and the kind of new pace of life there?
I'm getting up earlier because it's funny because my landlord, they texted me early Sunday morning because I wasn't awake about 9 o'clock. Hey, would you like to go on a walk? And I probably would have if I was up, but I wasn't up. And about 11 o'clock, I was like, oh, I guess
your
they went on a
landlord
walk.
asked you to go for a walk?
Yeah, they walk because they walk all over those trails and stuff all over the place. So
Well,
and I
that's
would have
nice
loved to
of
have
him,
gone
man.
for a walk with
Okay.
him, but I wasn't up.
All right. He's not planning to come back alone from the woods.
No, him
all
and his
right.
wife.
All right. I just. Maybe they take care of the people who live there and bury them in the woods. I don't know.
You're walking out there. Boy, it sure is spooky out here.
Yeah.
Imagine how I'm
How
going
do
to
you
feel.
think I feel?
I'm going to be walking back alone.
Yeah, in the dark. Thank you. Don't worry, kid. I'll be the one worrying about it. A couple of funny videos. Did you see in Volusia County, whatever that is, Florida, a bunch of rat bike riders? These little, they look like crickets on their little rat bikes, I call them, the little phony motorcycles.
rockets?
Yeah, pocket rockets. Crotch rockets, they call them. And a bunch of them are riding together, and one of the little crotch rocket guys is flipping out a bunch of police officers as he's zooming by them and goes into the intersection and gets creamed by a car. I mean, just obliterated by a car. Unfortunately, or maybe for him, fortunately, didn't kill him, but then you see the video of him trying to run away, and the cops actually catch him on their body cam on the ground. But again, he flipped off the cop and got creamed by a car in the intersection. The video's right there. It's freaking hysterical. And I saw this morning, there's another kind of funny video in Idaho where some people are snowmobiling out in the middle of nowhere, and all of a sudden, one of the kids who has an old snowmobile that doesn't have reverse on it is part of the story, and he gets stuck, and there's a moose coming at him, and so his brother on another snowmobile tries to distract the moose so he doesn't go to the thing, and it works for a while, and then he puts his snowmobile into reverse, and you hear the beep, 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 like that, and apparently it gets the moose all freaked out, so, and I think it's a girl moose, so she attacks the snowmobile, and you see the guy go flying off the thing, and luckily he didn't get hurt, but it's pretty, that's on the video, social media.
I saw something similar. There was I think it was in Minnesota or somewhere where they have mooses, and there was a guy taking his garbage out, and he had a little what are those portable garages called that you can put your lawnmower, yarding tools, shed like that? And he was going in there to put it back, and he just turned around, and then he just slowly went in the shed and shut it. And then about 5 seconds later, you see a 10-foot moose just come right up to the door.
Those things are scary.
They'll kill you.
I think the plural is meese.
It could be Mises.
Mises
or Mooses.
Really?
Yeah.
Could be either way there. Anyway, I thought it was a fairly funny video. Okay, now more in this forest business here. By the way, for the record, Marjorie Taylor Greene, our congresswoman from North Georgia, is now proposing to designate Antifa as an official terrorist group after they burned down the forest in Atlanta again over the weekend. So Marjorie Taylor Greene says she's introducing a resolution to declare Antifa a terrorist group. I'm introducing the resolution to officially declare this. Smoke and flames coming from the future cop force, the Atlanta Public Safety Training Center, which, by the way, they wanted to develop so that they could train police officers to be better at their jobs in light of the George Floyd bull crap where they charged cops for doing things they actually didn't do. But again, the city of Atlanta tried to say, well, we'll even get better training. We'll put a training center in here. And, of course, the haters didn't want any kind of training center to make them better.
They don't want it to get better.
No, they don't. I mean,
They
it's
want
a
it to get
joke.
worse.
Yeah, it's absolutely has nothing to do with anything. So the trading facilities on Key Road, southeast Atlanta, protests have been clashing with the police forever. Again, over the weekend, somebody was throwing Molotov cocktails at the cops, throwing rocks and stones and bricks or whatever the hell they can do. They arrested 35 or 36 people. And again, and Marjorie Taylor Greene says we need to call Antifa a terrorist group, period. They've been doing this for God knows. Lauren Boebert, the congresswoman from Colorado, tried to do it 2 years ago, and that didn't work because, of course, House was controlled by the libs and the Dems. But again, they're trying to do it again. But at least I don't understand why the first time a Molotov cocktail is thrown by somebody from those woods, why they aren't burned out.
I know.
I mean, just take bulldozers in there and officers with rifles and move forward. What's the problem? I mean, seriously, why are they taking
Because
this?
Democrats are running the city and the counties.
Isn't this like an FBI thing? Isn't this a
Oh,
federal
no,
thing?
they're too busy going after parents.
These are out-of-state people who are organizers for this Forest Watch bull crap. So isn't that an interstate thing? Isn't that supposed to
They
be
don't care.
Oh, I forgot. I said FBI. Oh, I'm sorry. We don't have it. I am so embarrassed. I remember, I used to watch Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. on TV. I thought we still had an FBI. So I'm old, and this is why I'm not on the radio. I don't remember things. I forgot we don't have an FBI. I'm embarrassed. Anyway, I don't know why they don't I don't know why they don't go in there and just put every one of those
Where's
people.
the governor?
I don't know.
Why is the governor putting up with this?
I don't know. Why isn't the mayor holding, going live and saying we're going in at noon? I mean, I don't get it. I don't understand. Why are they still doing it? I mean, literally, if I'm a cop and you throw a burning firebomb at me, you don't think I'm going to react probably, in a bad way? God. Oh, anyway, I mean, again, I don't understand any of this. But again, the way they treat cops. Oh, in fact, let me do the story now about Minnesota. Do you hear about this woman in Minnesota who, I'm sorry, in the state of Washington State.
Same thing.
Pretty much same thing. She runs a marijuana dispensary. And she owns a dispensary, and the other day, a state trooper was pulling over somebody for not wearing a seatbelt, and he pulled the driver over at this, near the parking area of this Washington State marijuana shop.
Yes.
State trooper pulled over the guy. So the owner, this girl, identified as Amy Deluge. My girl's name Amy. Oh, freaks.
No,
not all Amy.
I
Just
love
some.
Amy's.
30% of Amy's are crazy. Sorry, 30%.
One of my first crushes was.
Well, there's a girl named Amy that, whatever. Anyway, so this girl Amy owns the store, the pot store, comes
What
out
did
of the
this girl
store
do?
and says, quote, "Get the blank off my lot. You're done. You did your due diligence. Get the blank off my blanking lot." The place is called the Green Seed in Washington. The state trooper is Hiaasen Anwar. He's standing on. Okay, this is interesting to me because you're going to appreciate that even more. Okay, pot lady comes. You playing his name. His name is Hiaasen Anwar. He's outside his vehicle while she's screaming at him to get out of her property. And he's very calm. She says. The trooper talks to the guy who gave the ticket. He says, "Okay, here's your ticket. Do you have any questions with that?" And the girl's still screaming at him. The cop just saying, "Do you have any questions with a citation about the traffic stop?" She's still screaming at him. "You're on my effing land, you bitch. You better learn your effing place. I'll effing take your wife right out of your effing bed. Oh, wait, bitch. You're not married, huh?" And the guy says, seatbelts are a main contributor to our fatalities, so we want our cops to take care of this. Anyway, she's still screaming and yelling, and she gets up in his face. She puts her hands in his face and was just confronting him like crazy. So with this video, they're going to send this information to the local prosecutor to see whether it's possible they can charge her with interfering with a police officer on duty or something.
I thought marijuana is supposed to calm you down.
Not to this lady. And people are saying, how can a person that owns a business treat a cop like that and get away with it and still own the business? The chief of police says this woman has had run-ins with authorities for a very long time. She verbally attacks officers every time they show up doing anything. They're investigating her. They've received numerous complaints, and nothing seems to work so far. But, again,
Did she break a rule? Did she break a law? She threatened him.
There's got to be interfering with a police officer. Of course, it's probably too late. He would have had to charge her right there, saying you're interfering with me arresting this guy. That is a crime. A cop can warn you. If he warns you you're interfering with him doing his duty, then he can give you a citation. It may not be a handcuff arrest, but he can give you a citation.
Yeah, but the main point here is you said duty twice.
I said duty twice. Anyway, this Anwar Zinyak, or whatever his name was calm, polite,
Good for him.
and the state police director saying, this is what we train our officers to do. Man, I could never do it. There's no way
You know
I
what he
could.
should have done? He should have kept making eye contact with the other woman, talking to her, and then reach out and grabbed her by the neck like Bill the cat.
Yeah,
Gack.
yeah, crank.
And just hold her by the neck
Yeah.
while he's
The scruff
talking.
of the back. That would have been freaking amusing. And President Stupid goes to Selma and for Bloody Sunday, which he thought was Black Sunday about the movie. Anyway, he goes to Selma, Alabama for Bloody Sunday. And talks about the civil rights movement and fundamental so-and-so and everything else. And he's, I don't know. It's just, what does he know about Bloody Sunday? I don't get it. In fact, did I write anything down here on his trip
He
there?
said when he was a student, he was in civil rights marches. There is no proof ever that he was involved in any civil rights movement when he was a student.
Right, yeah, he used to make the same claim about black churches. He'd go to the black church every... Yeah, I don't really think that's quite true. Anyway, the other big thing about the Democrats today, they are now demanding that President Showers with daughter have the Democrat National Convention in Atlanta. This would be the biggest screw you, Georgia, screw you, Atlanta, that the political party has ever done here, I would think. The same people who called us, Jim Crow 2.0 and took away the All-Star game. And, I mean, it's the disrespect, the charges of racism from day one, and they're still doing it. Honestly, if they... Now, I heard Bortz this morning, and I think he's... he talked about how the last time there was a convention of international people coming to Atlanta, he voiced some translations in native language of French and whatever, and he would say he would have on his radio show. He had his message was in French: "Dear French people, we have a very humid, hot city here in the summertime, and so we're asking you to change your customs and for once start using deodorant while you're here." Stuff like that, which is fine. But I honestly, if they have the Democrat National Convention here, I'm in favor of blocking every street. I'm in favor of having protests and picket signs and spy balloons every freaking corner. Make it hard for them to get to their hotel convention site. Don't break the law. I mean, don't hurt them. But scream at them, yell at them. Signs, picketing, walking across every single intersection. Walk in the crosswalk so nobody goes anywhere. Shut them down. Show up at every one of their meetings. Go to their conventions. Get a ticket or whatever you have to do to be inside the convention territory as a delegate or whatever. I'm telling you, we need to make them wish they'd never freaking come here and show them how we feel about them disgracing, calling us racist, and rednecks and white supremacists and people who hate black history and every other thing you can imagine. And let's remember, Martin Luther King Jr. from Atlanta, the most important comment he ever made for the racial integrity of his program and his policies in this country was judging a person not based on the color of their skin, but on the content of their character. The single most important line from the I Have a Dream speech, that was his dream. The dream is judging people on their character, not their skin color. And not one of those Democrats believes that. Not one. Everyone believes in equity and making up for fewer numbers of black people or gay people or, I'm not even sure, gender people, genderless people, cross-dressing trannies. My God, an admiral in the Navy wearing a dress, dear God. I mean, again, these people don't believe in freedom. They don't believe in civil rights. They don't believe in Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech. Why would we welcome them here? It's an embarrassment. They hate us. They hate everything we stand for.
It's not our city anymore.
Well, I know, but
it's their city.
I'll be out there. I promise you. We need to organize protests the likes of which they've never seen.
I don't know if it's worth the drive down.
I know. Well, plus, those of us, not me because I can't get a job, but people probably would be working anyway, so it'd be hard to. Republicans tend to try to work. So whatever. Anyway, I hope I shut them down.
They'd arrest you, not them.
Yeah, fine. I'll take one for the team. Really.
I look forward to seeing you on the evening news.
Again, what would you think happened if you see me in the back of a police car?
You ever seen the meme? It's the two ducks are in the back of the police car.
The two ducks?
There's two ducks in the back. It said, not only are my ducks not in a row, but this is where my ducks are right now. In the back of the police car.
Oh, I love it. Let's see. Oh, a couple of quick.
Maybe Rob Lowe will make another video.
What's that?
The first one was kind of hot. Remember the Rob Lowe video? In '88.
What now?
Oh, Sophia says maybe he can make another one because remember he made it with the underage girl from here.
What's she talking about Rob Lowe for?
Rob Lowe in the '88 convention.
The
video.
And by the way, if I'm not mistaken, Rob Lowe, a famous video with the '88 convention here in Atlanta, Rob Lowe was having sex with a couple of 15-year-old girls in the hotel room.
One that was kind of
one of them was like 15 or 14 or 16. But as I understand, I think I did this story many, many years ago, and if I recall correctly, I believe one of the women involved in that gang party with Rob Lowe became an Air Force pilot and set the record as one of the first female combat pilots or something. I think that I remember now that might have been somebody that I think one of the girls became a very famous something or other, and another one of the girls lived to regret it and say, I don't know what we were thinking, but whatever. But I think one of them became a famous Air Force girl pilot.
There's so many jokes there, but since they're probably local, I'm probably not going to do it.
I don't know, my high club.
We're going to be talking about the armed forces later. I'm going to do something for you.
Oh, okay. All right. Excellent. And again, I don't know how long we'll go today. I've got to get to the tire store, but we'll go with one. I've got a couple quick crime-type stories. Yeah, that's bingo, 4 down. In Texas, a homeowner turned the tables on a burglar who broke into his El Paso home in broad daylight, shot the guy's dog, didn't kill the dog, wounded the dog. The homeowner grabbed his gun and started shooting at the burglar, who fled and started screaming, I'm hit, somebody help me, he says he's running down the street wounded. And so they chased him, and they finally, he was yelling to the neighbors, somebody help me, I've been shot. And they took him to a local hospital and freaking arrested him. The dog apparently is going to be okay, but they should have killed him right there.
If you break into my house and you shoot my dog,
it's over.
If I even have to go down the street in broad daylight with people watching, you will die a slow death.
Yeah. Well, one of the shots you'll get from me is right in the nuts. I guarantee you.
Right, and then a gut shot.
Yeah.
And I'll just sit there and watch you writhe in pain. And as I hear the sirens coming, I'll put one in your temple.
Yep. Some very bizarre. I've got a bunch of history things I want to get to too. So let me do a couple quick things here. I came across some examples of some of the things that are on reality TV shows. Do you watch like Deadliest Catch or those reality?
Used to.
There's a whole.
I watch Gold Rush sometimes. I kind of like Gold Rush.
Once in a while, I turn that on, but I'm always ticked off because it's like they move the thing and they get the thing. I don't know.
The pump always breaks.
I know.
Get a pump that works.
They got to bring the and you think of the size of those equipment gear trucks.
And they're in the middle of nowhere.
I know. I mean, how do you do that?
And they never have a part.
Gold dust.
They have to go 1,000 miles to Anchorage to get the part.
I know. And then it's like the mystery of Oak Island.
Oh, that's the biggest ripoff in the history of mankind.
We found a board this could be from the Mayflower. No, stop. It's just this rock was formed as a tool by the early, just stop. Just you're freaking killing me.
The island is about the size of this apartment building.
Yeah. And there's a tunnel and there's a board. There's a piece of wood. Well, this could be.
You could have dug up the whole island by now. Seriously, you could have put a thing. What do you call it when they build bridges? So they have to put the pillars in the water. What do they call that
the
thing?
pile drivers.
Yeah, no, it's that thing they put around to dry out the land.
The cistern or the something or other. I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
They could have done that whole island by now.
I know, it's wrong. Well, some of the things that actually happen in these reality shows, in season 3 of The Deadliest Catch, a search and rescue mission for a 4-man crew in the TV show found 1 survivor, 1 empty survival suit, and 2 dead crewmen floating in the water.
Oh, no.
Deadliest Catch during season 6. Fisherman and star Philip Harris died unloading crabs from a stroke.
Yeah.
MTV series Buckwild. Shane Gandy, along with 2 others, was found dead in a truck on the MTV show as a result of carbon monoxide poisoning. They suspended filming of season 2 and eventually canceled the show. Let's see, 2 more. A show called Under Wild Skies on NBC Sports was funded by the NRA, but they canceled Under Wild Skies, the sport shooting show, after the host, Tony Macris, shot an elephant in the face and then compared his critics to Adolf Hitler. Storage Wars. I used to watch Storage Wars. Yeah, the old ones I like. I don't watch any, but I used to watch years and years ago. During their series special, Unlocked, the Storage Wars star found a corpse wrapped in plastic inside a locker that he bought in 1988. The police had told him that a guy murdered his wife and he left her in the storage unit wrapped in plastic.
Well, that was Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah. And an unaired episode of Fear Factor, contestants were challenged with, I don't even want to say this one. Joe Rogan was hosting it.
Yeah, that was like almost.
shock factor.
I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say what he did, but let me just say Joe Rogan was hosting Fear Factor in 2011, 2012, and I won't say what he did, but he had the contestants challenged with ingesting something which was not even, and they canceled the show.
Good.
Because of that, the show was canceled. The whole thing was gone forever, which is fine. Now, I'm going to say one more story here that I just can't freaking believe. And let me ask you what you would do if you were me, but I can't find it. Here we go. The state of Florida has issued a dire warning about your tap water. 250,000 Floridians are being warned to avoid washing their face with tap water. The reason is a man died from the brain-eating amoeba infection after washing his face and rinsing his sinuses in tap water. The infection is from the Naegleria fowleri, a microscopic single-celled amoeba, very rare, but it's contaminated water that enters your nose. No treatments. Kills 97% of the people who get it. 4 patients have survived between the years of 1962 and 2021.
Damn.
4. This is the first case in Florida where a person's infected through tap water. It's the first case to happen during a winter month. Now, here's what's killing me. A disease expert at the University in Florida says all you people in this county, Charlotte County, should avoid exposing your nose to tap water. You should avoid any water going into the nose, at least for now. In the shower, avoid anything getting into the nose. If it's unavoidable, boil the water first. And officials in Florida are stressing. Again, this is the bacterial killer infectious disease that eats your flesh. If it's unavoidable, boil the water, and they stress the infection cannot occur through drinking tap water. It is so rare, it can only happen when water contaminated with this amoeba enters through the nose. You cannot be infected by drinking tap water. Oh, really? Would you drink the tap water if they said, by the way, if you get it in your nose, you're going to die, but you can go ahead and drink it? Wait a minute.
You know what protects you?
I mean, come on.
The uvula.
Yeah, your
It
uvula.
protects you from that. Yeah.
Oh, that's a little thing dangles in the back. I can't believe it.
Babs, it's your uvula.
Yeah. Oh, just don't get it in your nose, but you can go ahead and drink the. Oh my
Well,
God!
you don't have a
Would you
uvula
put
in
that
your
water
nose.
anywhere near your body? I mean, my God! This, by the way, this flesh-eating thing happened. I remember the case in Georgia. A woman lost both her hands and her legs, and I remember reading the story about it. Her father and her family.
She was what do you call that? Riding the cable.
Yeah, there was a
What's that called,
Oh yeah,
Flounder?
where you ride down the cable of life, where you swing down the cable into
You
the
ride the
trees.
cable down.
And she cut herself.
A cable car? Like
No. You're,
No,
you're
it's
flying with it.
A bungee?
the line ride,
No.
the zip line.
Zip line.
Zip line.
And she fell in the creek
Yeah.
over there by
Had a cut.
Carrollton.
Yeah, and it was in the creek, and the creek water was infected, got in a cut, boom. And the story was that she said, well, the story was that her father, I believe her father and her family were with her in the hospital room. They had already taken off her leg and her other foot, because the doctor said you can't save it, we can't keep it there, it'll get into your system. And then they said, and unfortunately, we're going to have to cut off both of your hands. And so they said, and the doctor, this is incredible. And the doctor said, I want you to look at your hands. And he took her hands in his hands, and he showed her. He said, I know this is horrible even to think about, but you can see. And she said, I agree. And so she looked at him. She said, well, there's nothing else can do. Let's go. Jesus, can you imagine cutting off both your hands? I don't know how you function doing
Well, they got the thing.
Well, I know, but still.
Artificial harm, yeah.
I mean, and she was a young, Anyway, and she had to look at her hands and say, yeah, you're right, and then say, okay, let's do it.
I think we overlook the tactile thing of feeling stuff with your fingers.
Oh, my God. I've often thought if you had to lose one of your senses, I'd hate to lose a sense of touch.
I know.
I mean, I'd hate to be blind, and I'm almost deaf, but I'd hate to be blind. But I'd hate. Can you imagine not being able to feel anything? Don't know if you have your clothes on or
If you
you're
had to
getting burned.
choose, I would guess smell. Even though your food wouldn't be the same and drink wouldn't be the same, but at least you could hear, you could see, you could touch.
I know. Anyway, what a horrible case. I'll save that. I got a Dear Abby. I'll save that for later. It's pretty funny. Another one. I don't believe people can actually react this way. Now, a couple of historical things and some birthdays, stuff like that. Oh, did you want to do something? Some military thing or something?
I sure did. I sure did. I'm glad you gave me enough warning to find it before you said that I should do this. All right, here we go. Well, we did Gary Rosington, right? I want to do something, play something with you two. Flounder.
With what?
All right.
You know Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
All right, Charlie Brown, right? He plays
I don't know,
baseball.
Charlie Brown. Yeah.
So I think this is the date of the first Charlie Brown playing baseball.
Oh, really?
In
We're
1951.
out in center field, and Lucy's out there not
Well,
catching
who's the
balls.
pitcher?
Is it Pigpen?
Who's the pitcher? Flounder.
Snoopy?
No, wait a minute. No.
Guys.
Isn't
pitcher.
Lucy?
Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown.
Brown's
Brown, that's right, 'cause he
Pitcher,
gets hit.
that's right,
He gets hit, that's right.
They
Charlie
keep
Brown.
creaming the ball, and Lucy doesn't catch it in center field or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's playing right field?
Pigpen, I don't know.
It's Lucy.
Lucy, okay. I thought she was in center.
All right. Who's playing first?
I don't know.
Shermy.
I don't even remember Shermy.
Shermy. The Christmas special. Why do I always have to play a shepherd? That's Shermy. Second base. Who's playing second base?
Don't remember.
Linus.
Oh, my God. Linus with his blanket.
I did
his
not know he
blankie.
was the second baseman there. Who's the third baseman?
I don't know.
Pigpen.
No, there's the other my guy.
Pigpen. Who's the shortstop?
I don't know.
Now, who's usually the shortstop?
I don't know.
Who usually
The
plays
dog?
shortstop? Who usually plays shortstop? The best athlete.
Yeah. Well, the best athlete would be Snoopy?
Yes.
Okay, there you are.
Snoopy's the best athlete. Right fielder is Lucy. Center fielder is
I don't think running out of characters.
think Tomboy. Think
Peppermint Patty.
Peppermint Patty is the center fielder.
Peppermint Patty.
The left fielder, you'll never get this one. The left fielder is Violet. Remember Violet?
Schroeder?
Dark hair.
Where's Schroeder? Isn't there Schroeder, the piano player?
Who's playing catcher?
That's Schroeder?
That's Schroeder.
And Lucy would sit there and want to talk about the getting married later when she's on his little toy piano. What a great what a great series.
All right, here we go. I didn't do this. Let me see who put this out there. Stu or somebody put this out there. If you were a farm animal, which military branch would you be? Let's just say Army. What animal best?
Donkey.
You think the donkey is best for
I think
the Army?
I think the donkey is the Army animal.
I was
the
gonna say a
mule.
dog.
The mule.
You say a dog.
Not a
Dog.
donkey, a mule.
Why
mule.
a dog?
Because they're on the ground and they fight and they're soldiers.
Mule. I say a mule.
According to this, it's the cow.
What?
How do you figure that?
Pack animal that doesn't like chains. It grunts a lot, just wants to hang out and eat all day. That's the Army.
That's the Army.
All right, Navy.
Navy.
What's the Navy?
Oh,
What animal?
Butterfly.
A butterfly?
Well,
Flounder? What? We'll piss off the Navy people here, I guess.
A flounder?
A flounder.
Well,
That's
after what they've done with this business about, making
Everything's
a man
woke.
wearing a dress, a freaking Admiral Levine.
You're going to love this one.
Please.
The emblem that best farm animal that best exemplifies the Navy.
Sheep.
Horse.
Oh, stop. You're killing me.
They're sensitive, kind of nervous, carries everyone around, and is kind of bitter about it.
Yeah, stop kicking me, all right?
Right? What farm animal best represents the Air Force?
The Air Force. Well, that's got to be the hoot owl, I think, probably.
An eagle.
Eagle. Very close.
The crow?
A rooster.
A rooster. All right, sir.
Looks majestic, but is annoying to everyone.
Air Force.
Not great with the ladies. All right, what's the Coast Guard? What farm animal?
Oh, my. That's
is
got to
the
be
Coast
a...
A seagull.
Seagull, that's a pretty good one.
Well, how about the pig? The pig was
pig?
always in
No, the
wallowing.
Coast Guard is the duck.
The duck.
Overly aggressive. No
Waterfowl.
one is really sure why it's on the farm, but whatever.
Overly aggressive.
All right, Space Force.
It's a new Space Force.
Space Force. What's the farm animal?
Wow. Well, that's got to be a crow or something.
A crow. What do you think? Crow.
Drawing a blank. I don't know.
Eagle. The
It's a
lizard.
farm animal.
Farm
you said.
animal. For
A
some
duck.
reason, they think it's a lizard. A lizard
Yeah,
represents
what's the
Space
theory on
Force.
that?
Doesn't really work on the farm, but lives there anyway, and no one can get rid of it. And finally, the U.S. Marine Corps.
Oh, boy.
What farm animal
Yeah.
best represents the U.S. Marine Corps? Flounder?
Well, it's the bulldog, of course.
Bulldog, according to him.
We've already said horse. What about a bull?
A bull. That's a good one. So you
Another good
say
one. Bulldog and a bull.
It's the pig. Loyal, but smells bad. Very suspicious. Always hungry and will eat literally anything.
That sounds about right. I can't really quibble with that, I don't think. How about some birthdays here, boys? Rob Reiner, the hideous leftist socialist, 76. Tom Arnold, 64.
Ugh, no talent.
D.L. Hewley is 59. He can be amusing occasionally, black guy. Connie Britton, very lovely lady. She was in one of those Friday Night Fights thing, I think, series or whatever. She's been in a lot of things. Connie Britton. Is she the blonde girl?
No, I think she's
Actress?
dark
Is she
haired.
Is she the dark-haired one? Who am I
I
thinking
think she's
of?
been in a few space operas.
Connie Britton. Anyway, 56. John Stossel. Whatever happened to him? The
He's
former
still on
consumer
social
guy.
media.
Is he?
And he's pretty conservative now.
Oh, he's very conservative. He's 76.
Do you
John
remember?
Stossel.
Do you remember the time? It was somebody. Either Tom Hughes was off for a week, and they had guest people do it. This is before I would do it.
Yes, I do.
And John Stossel did it one day by phone, and he was the biggest pain in the ass.
Yeah. And he for a while he was a real controversial about. I can't remember what it was, but he got in some serious public stuff for some theory of his or something or other. But he's a consumer guy. Alan Greenspan, my God, he's still alive at 96. Is he married to that little snot from NBC, Andrea Mitchell?
Yeah.
Armin Katanian, the sports guy, 69. I haven't seen or heard from him in 20 years. Shaquille O'Neal blocks the sun. The man's 51. I'll never forget walking down the hallway. We're in the studio. All of a sudden, the light disappears. I swear to God, the hallway, and it was Shaq walking down to the studio. David Gilmour from Pink Floyd.
Yes.
77 today. Also, remember the name Kiki D?
Yeah.
She sang with Elton John.
Don't Go Breaking My
Don't
Heart.
Go Breaking My Heart. Great song. With Elton John, she's 76. Kiki D was a former session musician and was the first white British artist to sign with Motown Records.
I didn't know she was
And in 1970, Charles Manson released an album called Lie. It looked like a Life magazine cover without the F in it. Lie, like a magazine. It was to raise money for his Killer Girls murder trial. A few years earlier, the 1970, Charles Manson actually befriended Dennis Wilson of the Beach Boys because Manson was a wannabe musician. And Charles Manson actually talked the Beach Boys into recording one of his songs called Cease to Exist. They changed the title to Never Learn Not to Love, and it was actually on the B-side of the single Bluebirds Over the Mountain, released in 1969. Wow. A Charles Manson Beach Boys song. It hit slot number 61 on the charts. And in 2004, Lionel Richie's ex-wife Diane went to court demanding a decent alimony settlement. She was seeking $20,000 a year in plastic surgery, $15,000 a month on clothing and shoes, $5,000 on jewelry, $3,000 dermatology, $1,000 for laser hair removal, another $1,000 for massages. Grand total of everything, her monthly demand in alimony. Monthly demand, Lionel Richie's ex-wife demanded a month $300,000. That's a lot of dermatology removal. Let's see, a couple of historical things, and I know there's I hope these are interesting. I thought they were kind of cool. Do you remember, you may not be old enough, Flounder, I bet you aren't, I'll bet you are, Pete. Remember the TV ads where the announcer was saying, it now has acetylsalicylic acid, acetylsalicylic acid.
It's aspirin.
And now it has acetylsalicylic, it's aspirin. And they used to use that term in the commercial for Buffer or Bayer or something. The patent office in Berlin, Germany, registered that acetylsalicylic acid in 1899. The chemical was originally found in willow trees. Yep. They registered the name aspirin, discovered by a German pharmaceutical company owner named Friedrich Bayer.
But it's bullshit because people have been using that for centuries.
Yeah.
They would chew willow bark.
Right, but he got the patent for the name aspirin in 1899.
Bayer.
1965, the corrupt government of South Vietnam begs America to send the Marines to free the South Vietnamese army trapped at Da Nang. The Marines landed on March 8th. 1981, that's the way it is. Walter Cronkite retires from CBS Evening News. That's the way it is. Became a total socialist. I couldn't believe when I first started reading what he really believes as a philosophy. He's a socialist. 1857, the U.S. Supreme Court rules a slave named Dred Scott was not an American citizen and therefore could not sue for his freedom in federal court. The Dred Scott decision. And they changed that later. 1836, after a 13-day siege, Mexican forces led by General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna stormed the fortress known as the Alamo. The battle claimed the lives of every defender, including William Travis, James Bowie, and Davy Crockett. 1912, the National Biscuit Company officially introduced...
Bowie.
What's that? Bowie. Could be the Bowie knife. I think it is a Bowie knife. The National Biscuit Company, 1912, officially introduced the Oreo cookie. And unrelatedly, the same day in 1964, heavyweight boxing champ Cassius Clay changed his name to Muhammad Ali. 1983, a tavern in New Bedford, Massachusetts, where a woman was gang raped on a pool table, much to the delight of a crowd. Jodie Foster starred in the movie about it called The Accused. 4 men eventually got in trouble for it. By the way, a movie that I don't think she ever got credit for it ever. If you ever see the movie The Brave One with Jodie Foster, I liked it. She plays a radio talk show host that's involved in a crime and becomes a vigilante. And it's The Brave One by Jodie Foster. If you get a chance, I enjoyed it. And it also had there's one of the black actors I really like. I can't remember his name, but he has little wire frame glasses. Very well-known actor. If I said his name, I'd remember. But anyway, it's a good movie, The Brave One. 1995, the Jenny Jones Show taped an episode on gay crushes. A guy named Scott told the TV audience on the show his crush was a friend named Jonathan. Oh, boy. Well, Jonathan was furious that he was embarrassed, and 3 days later, because of the publicity, he killed the guy named Scott. Yeah. Jonathan was sentenced to 50 years in prison. He served 22 from 1995. The episode on Jenny Jones was never aired in the syndication package, but it was on court TV. him giving his crush, and he got killed for it. 1978, we were talking about Larry Flynt the other day, the hustler porn king. Larry was taking a lunch break from his obscenity trial in Gwinnett County, 1978 this day, when a white supremacist and serial killer named Joseph Franklin shot him and his lawyer. Flint was paralyzed from the waist down, his lawyer wounded in the arm. This guy, Franklin, was executed in Missouri in 2013 for other murders. Larry Flynt died in 2019. It was a serial, the guy was a serial killer who was a white supremacist and was mad at something about
What
his
year was
porn.
that?
1978 in Gwinnett County.
That went through, I was at Parkview, and that went through the school like wildfire. Everybody said, did you hear Larry Flint got shot? And, of course, when we all got out of school, we all drove over there to look at it.
Yeah, absolutely. It was Gwinnett County, the
Lawrenceville.
courthouse. Yep. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. Sorry.
Here.
Boo. 1831, Edgar Allan Poe was a plebe at West Point.
Okay, this is weird. I was just going to say thing, but you don't have the Netflix box. Flounder, you got Netflix.
Yes.
It's called The Pale Blue Eye, and it's Christian Bale, and it's set in 1830-something, and I had no idea that Poe was a cadet.
Yeah.
Well, there's a murder mystery, a serial killer at the
West Point?
At West Point, and a Christian Bale is a detective there to fix it, and Poe helps him. And I haven't seen the end of it. I was about to mention that about 15 minutes ago.
1831, Edgar Allan Poe on this day was a plebe at West Point, but he hated it.
Yeah.
So he stopped going to classes deliberately so they'd kick him out, which they did.
He liked to drink.
But he said, oh, I can't handle this.
It's
like
a
frickin'
great
army.
movie so far.
Yeah,
It really is.
Well, there you go. 1831, Edgar Allan Poe. 1896, a guy named Charles Brady King drove the first car through the streets of Detroit in 1896. The car broke down in a busy intersection, and somebody yelled, 1896, the first car ever seen in Detroit broke down in the middle of the intersection where other forms of transportation were
Get a horse.
Get a horse. That was heard for the first time in Detroit. Somebody said, get a horse, because his car broke down. I mean, how funny is that? That's funny. Actual cliche was true. Let's see. Oh, did that do all of them? I think I did all of them. There you go. I'm done. That's it. I got nothing.
All right. I feel bad for parents nowadays.
Do you?
You have to be able to explain the birds and the bees.
Yeah.
The bees and the bees. The birds and the birds. The birds that used to be bees. The bees that used to be birds. The birds that look like bees, plus bees that look like birds,
Now,
but
wait a minute.
they still got their stinger.
Being ridiculous.
All right, we talked about this last week. Jon Stewart on Stephen Colbert in 2021.
Yeah, he's
visibly shaking Colbert up.
Yeah.
Because he was daring to say things. Jon Stewart on the death of comedy. I did a pretty good bit on that show, and the two things that came out of it were, I'm a racist against Asian people, and how dare I align myself with the alt-right for daring to say it came out of a lab.
It's unbelievable. And again, who's that bald little dwarfy scumbag from used to run Zuckerberg? Zuckerman? Who was the little... Yeah, no, the guy used to run CNN. Jeff Zucker. Jeff Zucker. Yeah. He has now admitted, or they caught him, it's come out now, that he had told the people, when he ran CNN, he had told the people in the news department at CNN, do not report on the China virus coming from China or the lab because Donald Trump says it so, and we don't want anything on CNN that would confirm or agree with anything Donald Trump says.
Exactly.
It's finally out. It's right there. He told them, don't report anything about this because it'll help Trump. I mean, they deliver. I mean,
Change
we
the
all
truth.
knew it, but again, it was from the head guy.
Yeah.
I hate these people. I swear to God. I mean, you let them win, and they keep going.
Yeah, in fact, Glenn Greenwald talked about Jon Stewart. Stewart says the left is basically a cult now.
Yeah.
If you say anything they don't like. By the way, we're not allowing Djokovic into the country to play tennis.
I know. Again, my God.
In May, they're going to get rid of that. I didn't know you couldn't get in the country if you haven't got a vaccine. Yeah. Meanwhile, there's 5 million illegal aliens that have come across the border.
They don't have the vaccine.
They don't care.
Yeah.
But Djokovic can't come in here.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, men under 30 explain why they're not having sex.
I know. I bet I know this one.
Tim, who's in sales, says a man must have money and a room of one's own if he is to have sex.
Actually, I heard a thing about men complaining. Single men are complaining lately that now that they're kind of getting back into the personal dating scene. He said now what's happened is that single men feel like they're on a job interview. That if you're in person now dating a girl and they're talking about your job, your career, your future, your family and stuff, and they're thinking that like they're on like they're being interviewed as opposed to just seeing whether there's any magic between
Good, the way it
you.
used to be.
Well, I can't imagine. I can't. Oh, do you miss dating? You may date. Are you dating anybody? Are you?
Not at the moment.
You dirty bastard, you are, aren't you? You're in love with us, son. You son of a bitch. You dirty, lying, sneaky. I guarantee the man's got 9 girlfriends, and they all come over here one day at a time, and no one will ever know it. Flounder, are you? Did you ever go back to that girl? The thing?
No, not her.
Do you miss dating? Do you wish you were?
I mean, I date.
Let's meet at. I'll meet you at 7:30. If I go to the store, have a thing. I mean, go out and have dinner.
The problem is my schedule. Like during the week, I mean, I'm up at 3 a.m. So girls who want to meet at 7 or 8, it's damn near my bedtime. So, I mean, I date casually, but just nothing serious right now.
Do you miss dating and going, getting a dress and making plans and picking her up at the thing or meeting at the show and stuff like that?
Sometimes, you went out and you had a good time.
Yeah.
But the thing is it's easy now, depending on who you match with on these apps. But the first thing I do is, you kind of get a little feel with the first couple questions, and then I'm always like, do you want to grab a cup of coffee or a drink sometime?
Yeah.
That way you get to know them. If there's chemistry, great. If not, hey, you got a free drink out of it.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
All right.
But they say
You're not missing anything, trust me.
Trust me. My days are over.
Here's what Plunk says why he isn't having sex. I've had my penis in a glory hole for the last 5 years, and no one has come by.
No.
Zach said, maybe the better question is, why does society seek to define manhood relative to whether we are or not having sex? Why is sexual content somehow the imperative that justifies our existence? Why are we as men not allowed to define the relationship that we have with sex outside of the patriarchal gaze of our heteronormative society?
It's not fair.
Did any hot ladies get horny for me saying any of that?
Yeah. How come no girl put something in my drink?
Carrie Ugly Shithead Fitzsimmons says, you would think it's because my nickname is Ugly Shithead.
I would go with that right off the top.
But it's actually very presumptuous of you. It's actually because my dick is smaller than a Tic Tac.
We'd like to apologize to these sudden turns.
Dustin says, sex? What am I, a Game of Thrones character?
The Bachelor's on tonight, so it's going to be all the girls trying to. I can't wait to see what this is like. I think it's The Bachelor. I don't. I can't watch that stuff.
Why not?
I tried to watch MILF Island again the other day. I can't. It's just too creepy. I mean, it's just creepy.
All right, well, we'll close with this, kind of.
All right.
Sometimes I wonder
Yeah.
if the people who unfriended me in 2019 are starting to realize I was right. All right, while Flounder picks the Bad Takes Theater of the Day, I shall read you today's truly tasteless joke.
Outstanding.
All right, let me get here. Oh, what do you call an African-American homosexual?
Wow, I don't know. Sir?
Black and blue. Black and blue.
Black and blown? I don't
Well, we did take a turn here in the
No,
last
we
5
didn't.
minutes
Well,
of
I
the
don't
show,
know.
didn't we?
I'm not a good follower. I just
That Edgar Allan Poe thing. I was just about to
Isn't
say,
that
did
funny?
you know he was a cadet and you were going to...
But do you know how many times you and I have that thing where? I mean, remember the times where you said, "Oh my God, I was just thinking." You woke up this morning, you had a dream about this. Remember that?
The reason I didn't say anything is because, well, he doesn't have the Netflix box, so why rub it in?
Why would you know?
It's a good movie. All right, have you found it?
February 25th.
February 25th.
The Hangover.
All right, hold on a second. Let me get here. February 25th. Ooh. The Hangover. Ah, okay. All right, you the first guy or the second guy?
I'll be the second guy.
Why am I hungover?
Did you drink water?
Yes.
From a glass?
Yes.
Was it frozen?
Yes.
Was it surrounded by whiskey?
It's like you know me.
Frozen, surrounded by. Never had it described that way before. All right, boys. Any other thoughts before we head them? I got to go get my tire done here. And
I got to
take
do
out a
that
loan.
annual Mine's worse. Tomorrow, the annual treadmill stress test run.
Oh my! Now
hate
who's
that.
having you do that?
The cardiologist. You do it once a year.
But you don't. Do you have a heart? Oh, you have a heart murmur or something.
I
don't
don't,
you?
yeah, I've only got 2 heart problems you've known about for 25
Yeah, that's
years.
right.
But other than that,
That's right. I remember now. Well, and stretch. In fact, when I had my heart attack, and my doctor out of Karen gave me a stress test in the office shortly after that, and we were going. I used to run 12 miles a day for years and stuff like that. But we did the stress test in his office. And he said, "Okay, you can stop. It's not going to bother you." And he said I was in such a move, groaning, and ripping around, that my heart was great. Everything looked fine. He said, "Hell, he said, I can't believe how great you're doing. You can go ahead and stop." Which is probably why I didn't die when I had my heart attack. Anyway, well, good luck. I'm sure you'll be fine.
no, I never finish it.
Oh, you don't?
And every year I say, next year I'm going to do this. And he goes, yeah.
Oh, well, I feel bad now because he stopped mine because I didn't have to finish because I was doing so good. Sorry, Pete. But I had a heart attack. You didn't have a heart attack.
Yeah, so
Oh, that's kind of
it
weird.
evens out.
Yeah, it evens out perfectly. All right, boys.
The right way.
God bless America.
For me.
I gotta go. You're killing me. Look out. Herb and Herb. Hoorah. Semper Fi. Thank you. Herb and who. Here we go.